Out the door here for this afternoon. Our latest storm will gradually push to the east. Look for any lingering shower coming to an end by this evening. Breezy with a high 51. Then breezy into tonight, partly cloudy, low 38. Blustery for tomorrow. Sunshine will mix in with some clouds. Cooler overall, though, still above average for this time of the year with a high 44. Cloudy and breezy for tomorrow night. Bit of rain and snow at times with little to no accumulation, low 28 degrees. Saturday, cloudy, breezy, mild, perhaps a passing shower for the afternoon, high 52. But temperatures drop after that as a powerful cold front sweeps across the area. Watch out for a rapid freeze up into Saturday night with a low of 20 degrees. Much colder for Sunday despite the sunshine. It will be blustery, a high of just 30. Plenty of sunshine, still cold for Monday with a high of just 33 degrees. This is meteorologist Matt Benz in the WTIC Weather Center.
Markets trending downward on Wall Street. Dow down 102. NASDAQ's down 392, and the S&P's down 65 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
If your air conditioner and furnace are over 10 years old, they've pretty much gone to the dogs. But at Ayala Home Services, we can fetch you a free furnace with our 2-for deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a new air conditioning system, you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no-obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P102776888, D1040145, D1185643, S3308699, HIC 628926, SM3004646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
Isn't it time you thought about an estate plan for your family? Estate planning attorneys help prioritize and carry out personalized asset protection strategies. The law firm of Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott has served the legal needs of individuals and their small businesses since 1977. Our experienced estate planning team is ready to help. With Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Nancy Tanucci approved this ad.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this important...
1 minute.
McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your cancellation.
Got it.
Call for your...
Yeah, I'm out tomorrow. Justin's going to be in, too, by the way.
Okay.
800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
I'm going to send him a note about your intro and all that.
Okay.
So he knows how to do it right.
You said Justin or Joey?
Justin.
Why do I feel like I don't know him?
Yeah, Justin, he filled in before.
Oh, okay.
You ain't like him.
Hey, yo! Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese's all over me. Yo,
let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio, right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And a pleasure it is always to be here with you on News Talk Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. I can't do what I wanted to do, folks, and that was open up today's show doing the monologue that I was planning on doing. I shouldn't say that. I'm going to do the monologue that I was going to do and just start that off because, I'm sitting in the office. I'm getting prepared for the show. I'm looking up information, doing my little bit of research, not real research, but light research because there's a point that I want to bring home because I got to talk about this story with Tyree Smith, the cannibal. And I don't want to ignore that story because it's a big story in the area. And then we had yesterday's show. And yesterday's show happens, and it's all anyone could talk about. It's everywhere. I've got journalists calling me, hey, what's going on? Hey, here are the breadcrumbs. Here's the direction to go. And they're going. And I want to thank I want to thank a friend of the show, friend to the room, and that is Mark Fitch of Connecticut Inside Investigator. He was on the ground listening to this show. He is a supporter of this show. I don't like to use the word fan. I hate that word. He's a supporter of this show. He takes his time to listen to this show. That's a big deal to me. And listening, made phone calls, text me, yo, what's this about? And he set out to go get a FOIA request from the mayor's office, from everybody at the mayor's office, because of yesterday's show. We'll get into that a little bit. But I want to tell you this, because yesterday everyone was in the chat room, and I'm sure you were driving in your car, sitting at your desk or sitting at home, going, Reese, what's the secret? What was the secret that Janet Serrano was keeping? Let me first start by saying this. I can't tell you for legal reasons. However, I do know. Yesterday, I did not. But today, I know. I know enough. We'll get into that in the 4 o'clock hour. I'm not teasing it. I want everybody here. So if you know someone who doesn't listen to this show, if you know someone in a position of power, if you know someone that cares and can actually get stuff done, activists in this city, in the state of Connecticut, get them to this show by 3:59. Because although I can't tell you for legal reasons, I am going to tell you what I can because I do know. And it is as bad as I was told. When I said yesterday, I thought many people asked, in fact, we had a caller say, Reese, I don't know, man. You know, the person says that this is something that's going to rock the school system and maybe the city of Hartford. I don't know, man. Maybe that's a little overblown. Sadly, it's not. And I also want to say this before I get into the opening monologue. I don't even want this story. I don't want this story to be a part of my resume. I said yesterday to the top of the news hour, I said to, gosh, why am I forgetting his name? Jonathan, why am I forgetting John's name? John Silva. Sorry. I was saying, John Silva, if this story comes out, give me credit. I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm not trying to build a resume off this story. It is too tragic of a story to build a resume off of. I can't. I don't want any parts of it. It's that bad. It just is. So at 4 o'clock, when we come back at the top of the hour, when we usually do the stupidest thing I did today, actually, we'll still do that because there's a ridiculous story there that I got to cover. I'll talk about it in the 4 o'clock hour, and I'll tell you what it is that I can tell you. And let me just say that what I'm going to do in the 4 o'clock hour, I'm going to talk to the people who are responsible for not saying anything. And I'll give that update in a minute. So please stand by. Like I said, if you know someone, get them to this show, whether it's online or on the air. Just be here. In the opening monologue, I want to start off by saying this. 41 years. 41 years. From 1981 till 2022 is 41 years. In 1981, a crazed gunman took a shot and hit the 40th president of the United States, Ronald Wilson Reagan. That man's name is John Hinckley. When Hinckley fired that shot, he was trying to impress a young lady, an actress by the name of Jodie Foster. And for 41 years, John Hinckley was locked up until his unconditional release in 2022. It drew the ire of every person who lived through that. To make all of this relevant, Ronald Reagan died on June 5th, 2004. I know that because it's the first time that I cried for anyone in politics in my life, the day he died. But even then, John Hinckley remained incarcerated or locked up until 2022, some 18 years after the death of the man that he shot. Now, I'm not going to say that Angel Gonzalez is at the level of a president of the United States. But Angel Gonzalez deserves way more than what he's getting today. If you don't know, Angel Gonzalez is the man who was killed by Tyree Smith. Body hacked up and eaten by Tyree Smith. He was sent to a hospital and given 60 years. 60 years in 2013. And 12 years later, a family that is still alive, a family that still lives in the state, a family that is still mourning, couldn't even get 20 years of a distance between the time of death of their loved one until today. A unanimous decision to release this person who did far worse than what Hinckley did to former president and my hero, Ronald Wilson Reagan. Reagan survived, and Hinckley still spent 41 years. Angel Gonzalez was brutalized in a way that is unimaginable, straight out of like the worst zombie movie you could think of in real life. And the people of Connecticut couldn't give that family 20 years, 30 years. Not even. I mean, I would have argued, okay, Ronald Reagan passed away in 2004. If they had suggested Hinckley could get out in maybe 2006, maybe 2007, sure, there would have been a backlash, but Reagan had passed on. Perhaps when Nancy had passed on, maybe that would have been a good time as well. You know, at least let Nancy and Ronald Reagan have passed on and give them a little bit of breathing room between their passing and you releasing the man who set out to kill him. But in 2011 to 2025, that's the kind of justice you give this family for Angel Gonzalez? Tyree Smith gets justice while Angel Gonzalez's family just gets a couple of years. This guy is getting less time than a capital murderer. He was put in a hospital because he was guilty by reason of insanity. And the reprieve that their family gets is, we're going to let him out, and he's going to be on his meds. He didn't choke somebody out. He didn't stab a guy. He didn't drive-by shoot. He ate a man. His eyeball and brains. And people are standing around unanimously saying, we've got to think of Tyree. We got to consider what he's going through.
It's all about ego.
You said it's all about what?
Ego.
Yeah, it's all about ego. I would have said to you, How about we keep him in a facility and we give him his meds and leave it at that? How about an update on how he's doing inside the mental institution and leave it at that? A conditional release to put him out on the streets. For what? Whom does this serve? There's only one victim here, and that is the family of Angel Gonzalez. That's it. Nobody else is a victim. Tyree is no victim. He is the perpetrator. He is not to be seen in any light. Not after doing something this crazy. I can understand a young gangbanger shooting at his enemy, inadvertently killing a child. I'll still tell him he's got to stay 20 years. And better find Jesus as well. And I'm talking a consideration. I'm not saying a pass, a blanket pass, but a consideration for that. I still couldn't possibly bring myself to it. But this man ate someone. And what's this talk about caring about communities of color and the victimization of communities of color and people of color? Are you folks insane? I still don't understand. This is a national news story. You put yourselves on the national map. Nobody knew about this story. Nobody cared about this story because it was local. It's not that they couldn't have cared, but they didn't care. You got national attention when you guys turned around and said, we all vote unanimously, let the guy who ate someone to death, let him out. Because why do you think that garnered all that attention from the national news media? Because in some ways it sounds about as crazy as the man you're letting out of jail. Perhaps you should be on the same medication as Tyree. Forget about the danger that may be put upon the people of Connecticut. Just show some respect for the family. I know you guys are a bunch of suits sitting in your ivory towers and you don't have to deal with the lesser than, the unwashed. But geez, man, you want to talk about out of touch. You couldn't get more. This is ugly and embarrassing. And to be honest with you, no one would care if you reversed it. Not even Tyree. He's got nothing to look forward to in the outside world. Nothing. Seriously, what's his life going to be like in the outside world? Who isn't going to look at him like a pariah? Who isn't? What he did, he is now, he's pretty much Frankenstein's monster. And you guys look like Dr. Frankenstein letting him out amongst the rest of us and think that's okay. What do you think, the people of Connecticut are some sort of experiment for you to have? For you to sit back and collect data? How much respect do you have for the citizens you're supposed to be protecting? If anything, you're supposed to hold them above anything. I understand prison reform, but this is way beyond that, ladies and gentlemen, way beyond. John Hinckley, 41 years. He fired, if any, 2 shots. A man survived. 41 years, 18 after the man died, they still didn't let him out. Tyree gets what? 11, 13 years? 11? 2011, the crime's taking place. He gets sent to prison in 2013, and he's out in 2025, and people thought that no one would be outraged. And you think that you're sitting like in some position where you can't be challenged, you won't be challenged for this. It is going to be incredibly difficult for this person to acclimate inside or outside the walls of that hospital. And you know it. The sentence for Tyree outside in the outside world is going to be far worse than it was for him inside that hospital where he could get the care he needs. I'm not inhumane, but if you care about that man, if you care about him at all, you don't send him out into the wild and say, take your meds. You people must be kidding me. We can't trust you to maintain his sanity. You're a bureaucrat. If something happens, we're going to be doing an investigation on how you failed him and the rest of us. Why run the risk? So you can pat yourselves on the back and say, look at the good thing we did? Let me help you pat you on the back. Keep him in the hospital. This entire state would reward you for that. It would show you gave a damn. Instead of the condemnation you're getting every day from the world. Because everybody knows what you did. And they condemn it. And they condemn you. Why wait for another person to be eaten before you figured it out? We'll take a break and your phone calls. Don't forget, 4 o'clock, I have some very, very daunting things to tell you about our show yesterday. All right? We'll return. More news, more views than you can shake a stick at. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Ben, this is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction, and if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating a low T could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back that flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at Northeast Men's Health and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Welcome to the new era of excellence at Amberwoods of Farmington. We're thrilled to announce that our transformative renovations are now complete, and we've truly taken it to the next level for our residents. Discover our stunning new spaces and indulge in 5-star amenities that redefine comfort and care. This is not the same Amberwoods you knew. Call us today at 860-677-1671 or visit amberwoodsof.com to schedule a tour and witness the remarkable changes at Amberwoods. We can't wait to welcome you.
Ever feel like there aren't enough hours in the day? If you get busy or miss your favorite show, don't worry. With Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app, you can stream your favorite shows on demand. You know your day is better with us. Get the news that matters to you from the local voices you trust. No matter what you're up to, give it a try. To get started, download the free Odyssey app and search for your station. That's AUDACY.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 3:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The rain should be winding up, and we'll be left with overcast skies for the balance of the afternoon. The forecast details coming up. Still trying to figure out what made people sick at Thompson Middle School today. About a dozen fell ill this morning, including 5 students. Officials say it was not carbon monoxide. The 5 kids who got sick have since been released from the hospital, and normal operations resumed at the school. Still more questions than answers as to the death of Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman and his pianist wife, Betsy Arakawa. Their bodies were found in the couple's home in New Mexico, along with their dog, one of their dogs. Authorities say there were no signs of a CO leak in the home and no obvious signs of trauma on the bodies. State police are charging a woman in a check washing fraud investigation. They say 28-year-old Sanaya Thompson is charged. According to state police, the Waterbury resident allegedly washed a check issued by the Essex Yacht Company, or Yacht Club, that is, to a local vendor. Troopers say Thompson allegedly cashed the check at a bank in Old Lyme. She is charged with larceny and forgery. State Senate Republicans going to raise questions concerning the governor's Pura deal that was reached last week. Came as Chair Marissa Gillette was up for reconfirmation to the top seat on the board that oversees the state's utilities. WTIC News time is 3:31. Here's the forecast.
Through the rest of today, cloudy with a lingering shower, breezy, high of 51 degrees, and breezy into tonight, turning out partly cloudy with a low of 38. Windy for tomorrow, sunshine will mix in with some clouds. Look for a high of 44 degrees tomorrow night, breezy, a bit of rain and snow at times, though little to no accumulation expected with a low of 28 degrees. Cloudy and breezy into Saturday. Watch for a passing afternoon shower. Temperatures heading up to a high of 52 by Saturday afternoon. This is meteorologist Matt Benz in the WTIC Weather Center.
Half hour before the close, markets down on Wall Street. The Dow off 136 points, Nasdaq's down 420, and the S&P is off 72 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
It's Power Torque Tools DIY days at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Save $20 on a Power Torque 248-piece mechanics tool set. Power Torque professional hand tools have a lifetime guarantee, available only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
January through March are the months our weather can change in a snap. 45 degrees one day, 10 the next. Can you depend on your car to start? Don Cusson here. Your battery can fail in extreme weather. So Cusson Automotive and Napa have a deal on batteries with an earn-back bonus on quality Legend batteries. With any vehicle service, we will test your charging system and battery for free. If your battery fails the test, we will replace it with no additional labor cost. Plus, you'll receive a $20 Visa card, so don't get stuck in the cold. Call or go to CussonAutomotive.com.
Cusson Automotive.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-380-9012. 800-380-9012. Again, that's 800-380-9012.
If your air conditioner and furnace are over 10 years old, they've pretty much gone to the dogs. But at Ayala Home Services, we can fetch you a free furnace with our 2-for deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a new air conditioning system, you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no-obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P1027768A, D10401465, E11856443, S33086999, HIC628926, SM30044646, HOD635, HOD223.
It's Sarah Samuels, co-host of Retirement Income Source, heard Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m. and again at 12:30 p.m. In retirement, you know it's all about the income, and that's real income generated from interest and dividends. Each week, David Scranton and I discuss ways you can help maximize income generation in your retirement strategy so you can make the most of your golden years. Tune in to the Retirement Income Source Sundays at 9:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m.
Retirement Income Source with David Scranton is a paid program.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than
45 seconds.
years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-253-6259. 800-253-6259.
Here we go.
You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-253-6259.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
It's time to get to the phones on Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080. It numbers 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. I need a new keyboard. I'm really ticked off about this. When things don't work, I don't know why. It's the only thing that unsettles me in my life. It's the only thing. Let's go to our good friend, Christine, who's in Middletown. And now I can't. Oh, geez. Why is it that when I start this show, when I open up this app every time, Roland, I have to start it over if I open it up too early? It happens every time I start the show. Now, let's see if I can do it again. There it is.
Hi, Reese.
How we doing,
Good
Christine?
afternoon.
What's going on?
Well, you know what? I'm disgusted by the Connecticut Democommies. First of all, they let this cannibal who should never have left Whiting Forensic for another 50-something years.
Yeah.
But yesterday at the Legislative Office building, we had yet another librarian bill being raised for public testimony. This time it was the Education Committee, Reese.
Okay.
And right off the hop, they said you better keep your commentary G-rated because we don't want any, because of the audience that's watching.
Right. So the audience, we're going to talk about inappropriate books in schools that 12-year-olds can read, but please keep your language G-rated in the middle of this meeting with adults. The irony has no bounds, Christine. I tell you.
I pointed it out to them when I got to testify like at 9 at night. But yes, and Representative Mary Wheelander, who was on the Education Committee, she's the one that stopped me 2 weeks ago when I was reading Genderqueer during the Children's Committee hearing.
Yeah, again, it's the part is that to watch these people when confronted with this book and this material, because there's more than just Genderqueer is the most popular. So it's sort of one of those things where people always mention it, but there are other books that are far worse than that. I can't remember which one it is, but it's like one book, the one that Joy Reid was talking to, one of the leaders of Moms of Liberty, that talks about a family member assaulting a child. And Joy Reid was making an argument that what if a child identifies with this book? And a woman from Moms of Liberty was like, identifies with a book that has an adult assaulting a child? What parent would buy that book and not call the police? And that book is far worse than the Genderqueer book.
Absolutely. But the American Library Association must be putting lobby money into the Democommies because they want their librarians to have full autonomy over books in the children's sections of public libraries and school libraries. And again, for the second time in 3 weeks, during my testimony, I mentioned the transgender girls' policies for CIAC sports, Reese.
Yeah.
It simply states it's based on gender identity. I go, that doesn't comply with President Trump's executive order. I said, I could offer you on the spot right now a common sense solution that would protect girls' sports and yet not dehumanize trans girls. And both times when it came, public testimony was over, my time was up. No one followed up and asked.
Because they don't care.
How I would do.
And that will give you, that gives you all the information you need. They don't care about solutions. They want what they want, and that's it. That's all. Give us what we want, or all other options are off the table. This is not this objective, this idea that they're not there's no brinksmanship, there's no pushback, and let's have a conversation. All of those things are platitudes. They don't mean anything. When people talk about we need to come to a compromise, it means see it my way or else. That's all. That's all it ever means.
Well, Reese, once again, the Connecticut Demo commies proved that they don't care about the victims of crimes and their families. They don't care about women and children either. What a great trifecta that is, isn't it?
Christine, you will not want to miss 411 today. You will not. You will not.
I'll be tuned in.
Thank you. Let's go to, Mark's in West Hartford. How we doing, sir?
Hey, so let's stick with your opening monologue.
Yeah.
So are you familiar with the term EVP?
EVP. This I haven't.
EVP. So while you were talking, I was thinking of all my fellow first responders,
Okay.
firefighters and cops and paramedics and EMTs. And
right.
So although we're zoned in on this one individual, and let me tell you, it's horrific. He killed somebody and cannibalized their body.
Yeah.
It's terrible. We know on any given day in Connecticut, there are tens of thousands of people just like this person. Now, they might not murder, but they have murdered.
Right.
Might not eat people. That's unusual.
Right.
But they will harm other people and they'll harm themselves. So I just started doing a deep dive, and I'm hoping. I just reached out to Mark Fitch. Maybe you can give him my number.
Okay.
I'm trying to do a deep dive. I just sent you one graph.
I saw.
There were, in a 3-year period, 48,000 EDPs, emotionally disturbed people, who self-harmed. These aren't 48,000 people who harmed other people, or part of them that, whatever the other number is, murder. This is just people who harmed themselves.
And this is the, can I break this? Let me break this down. This is the list that Mark in West Hartford sent me. And I'm looking at it, and these are some of the numbers. Now he's talking about, again, the numbers, the count of people who have had encounters with police or firefighters where there is a mental health and self-harm report. And it is done in age groups. Now, they go from 0 to 4,000 in each age group, and they go from 10 to 19. So it's a 9-year age piece in this. So from 10 to 19, for female 10 to 19, it is over 4,000. For males 10 to 19, that number is just above 3,000. These are incidents just in that area. 20 to 29, we're seeing just under 4,000 for girls and over 4,000 for boys. Ages 30 to 39, which I think Tyree fits in this area, if I'm correct. Female, 3,500. Male, it looks like 4,200. People, okay? We're talking about encounters. They're the highest level on this graph between the ages of 10 and 39. And we're talking about 3,000 and 4,000, no less than, in either male or female groups. That's what we're talking about. So we know that the likelihood that Tyree Smith is going to get a call by police or fire because of an episode by not taking their meds are exponential.
Reese, I'll tell you, so everybody always when you hear about firefighters, you're always thinking about, oh boy, it's scary, it must be scary, fires and this and that. It's all the other stuff.
Yeah.
We used to have to go on these. We were first responders. We most of the time got there before the cops.
Yeah. That's
and,
right.
And sometimes we didn't know they were emotionally disturbed until it was too late and have to deal with them. But all day, all night long, I mean, they are walking the streets of our inner cities in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a dirty little secret. I'm sure if you talk to Mark Fitch next time, and I'm hoping again he reaches out to me because I want to do a
Oh,
deep dive
we're in
all the
constant
breakdown.
contact with this story. So yeah, we're talking all day.
So I just want everybody to, although again, this is disturbing. We've got this one individual we're zoned on, but maybe this is our opportunity, Reese. And you know, I like to seize opportunities.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the big picture. There are tens of thousands of this individual walking the streets in Connecticut right now, especially in our inner cities,
Correct.
where they typically get dumped because of what? The nonprofits. But then the tentacles, then you and I could get lost in the weeds. Now we follow the money with what's going on with these emotionally disturbed people, because these nonprofits are sucking off that big boob from social services.
Yeah.
And this is where the mentally disturbed end up, and they really should be institutionalized, and they're not.
Yeah.
So I get it. Let's use this opportunity. Let's talk about what they did with this individual, but let's now make a change in the bigger picture, because it's going to happen again just because of the way the system is set up.
Yeah. It's listen to me.
Thanks,
This
Reese.
you got it, buddy. It's a recipe for disaster. They know it. It wouldn't get the attention that it's getting if it weren't. You know, if it wasn't dangerous, if people know that no one's given us any assurances that this person is going to be okay, other than the fact, he's going to take his meds. I don't know how many people you have in your life who deal with taking medication for psychological ailments, but whether or not they take their medication, it's a common theme that people don't, because it makes them feel a certain way, or it makes them tired, or it makes them groggy, or it hurts them. Who's going to be there? Seriously, who's going to be there? Let's go to Tony in Southington. How are we doing, sir? Okay, I guess he stepped away. That's all right. He'll call back. All right, we got about another 4 minutes. I do want to say this coming up in the next hour, and we will. And I know a lot of you are going to be in the chat room, and you're going to chime in about this, and you're probably going to be upset with me, and you're going to say, like, Reese, just say. Legally, it's not that. I put it to you this way. Legally, I'm not going to say, because what I'm about to talk about, if I'm applying people to it, people are going to be affected in a way. And I've got to be a responsible person. And I'm a very responsible person. I understand the rules behind this mic. Always has. I was taught very well about the rules behind this mic. But I do have to tell you that guys like William Tong, guys like Justin Elliker, there are people who live in this state and work in this state, and elected officials and so-called moral superior people in this state. They've got nothing to stand on. Nothing. And I know their true nature. And I said this before, and I'll say it again. They don't give a damn. And I mean it. They don't give one damn about the people that they're propping up, claiming to be the moral superior person on. Like that stuff, holding these people up, they are nothing more than props. They are props to them. To use people in a way to get ink, to have a complicit news media in this state and around the country who ignore what's happening. To watch this happen as it, again, it's not under the cover of darkness. It's in plain sight. They know that it's happening. And they ignore it on purpose. and then they get in front of the cameras, in front of a bunch of people who could not care less about the people they claim to be doing it for. They don't know these people. They've never met these people. They are used to profiteer, whether it's financial or newsworthiness or to prop themselves up for their political gains, but they don't give a damn about these people. They don't. And when I tell you, let me just say this. You know what? I can't even say it. I'll say it in the next break. I said something on this show a long time ago, a very long time ago. In fact, within the last 6 months, I said something on the show, and it is absolutely the saddest thing in the world that I'm right. It's so sad. It's one of those things you hope you're not right about, but I know I'm right. And I'm going to explain that when we get back. So we got to take a break. I'll tell you about it. Get on those phones in the next hour, because I know you're going to ask, but we'll hit it. It's Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Paid for by GLI LLC.
This is an important message for anyone who's 65 or older on Medicaid and needs home care. Did you know that you can get quality personal care right in your own home at no cost to you? You heard that right. If you or a loved one are 65 or older and on Medicaid, you can now get quality personal care and help in your own home for things like transportation, meal prep, grocery shopping, and companionship at no cost to you through a Medicaid-funded home care program. Just call 800-293-7147 right now. Call 800-293-7147 and SilverCare will help you get the home care you need today. And if you're on Medicaid, there's no cost for you. Don't wait. Call 800-293-7147 and find out instantly if you qualify for quality personal home care at no cost to you. If you or a loved one are 65 or older and on Medicaid, call 800-293-7147 right now. This service is absolutely free to you. Don't wait. Call 800-293-7147. That's 800-293-7147. 800-293-7147.
Looking for the perfect place to unwind after a busy day? Avon Old Farms Hotel and the Simsbury Inn have dining options to match your every mood. At Twiggs Lounge at the Simsbury Inn, good times are always on the menu. Join us for happy hour Monday through Thursday. From 4 till 6, we feature live music Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. If brunch is more your vibe, join us on Sundays for our award-winning brunch at Evergreens Restaurant. Each week, 11 a.m. till 1:30. Twiggs Lounge and Evergreens Restaurant, nestled in the heart of Simsbury at the Simsbury Inn. If you're looking for a dining experience that celebrates the flavors of the season, come to the Seasons Restaurant at Avon Old Farms Hotel. Every dish is crafted with fresh, local ingredients, inspired by the best of every season. Whether you're enjoying a cozy dinner or celebrating a special occasion, every meal is unforgettable. Join us Wednesdays for live music, Thursdays for trivia, or on Sundays for brunch. It's all at Seasons Restaurant at Avon Old Farms Hotel.
Attention small business owners needing financing. Swish Funding is providing funds for expansion, inventory, increased overhead, even slow cash flow to small businesses all over America with affordable funding as soon as one business day. And we're ready to help with funding from $10,000 to $2 million. If you've been in business for 1 year or more with a monthly income of at least $25,000, you can get the affordable funding you need with 30 seconds. Go to swishfunding.com today. That's swishfunding.com.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. Classes start March 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
It's Reese on the radio. Ask your doctor if common sense is right for you. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Christine Carpino, Representative Christine Carpino, I understand that you've responded to this and you are outraged at this Tyree Smith story. We need to get in touch with each other. We need to have a conversation. And it doesn't have to be on the air. There are people who are in the House of Rep who are saying that their hands are tied. No, they're not. No, they're not. If you don't believe that you have any power in this, you're absolutely out of your mind. Someone has convinced you of something that is so ridiculous. You have the power. It's a want. It's a want that you have to achieve. And this is not one of those things. people are under this impression that you don't have the power. You have absolutely the power. Your job is to protect the people of the state, your district or anywhere for that matter. But your district, your job is to protect them. I know you understand it. I know you think it's to pass legislation, but you are there to do the people's work, the people's bidding. That's why government goes all the way down. It's always local. It is down to the ground level. When you can't reach your senator, you have a state rep. Somebody is there to at least answer the call or do the bidding of the people in your district. That's why local government is so important. So to believe that you have no power as a state rep when someone like this is going to be coming into the community and your community is concerned, to turn around to them and say, I can't do anything. What are we electing you for? If I can't depend on you for public safety, the basics of public safety, like letting somebody out of a facility that's supposed to be there in 60 years who's getting out in 13. You tell everyone, and that's the crazy part. You don't even wait until everybody's old enough to have died off. They didn't even wait that long. Like, I can understand 20, maybe 30 years. Enough people have died off that they won't even remember the story. But something like this, to wait 13 years when you know the sentence was 60? 60? A fraction of the time? And then to hear the response from your elected officials going, but it's out of our hands. We don't need you then. I hate to come down on people like that, but please don't give me that nonsense about it's out of your hands and you could do nothing. No wonder people think their votes are worthless. No wonder they think that the whole thing's rigged. You can't even give somebody a simple hope like saying, even if you couldn't do something, at least stand up for them. Get with a bunch of people. I know you're all outraged. This is something that every person, no matter what their stripe is, even Tim was on the radio saying, letting out cannibals now. This guy is adversarial to everything on this network. And even he was on this network going, why the hell are they letting a cannibal out? This is beyond party lines. This is common freaking sense, dude. Don't embarrass us with responses like that. Well, can't my hands are tied. Ugh. You tell stuff. It's just. I wouldn't have responded. I'd have ignored her. I'm sorry you had to go through that, Catherine. Let's get a first check of the traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon. If you're heading 84 eastbound, you got delays 44 Prospect Oakwood down into the tunnel. Westbound 84 slowing both the bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 91 southbound delays 34 down to 32 A&B. Again, 19 in Meriden down to 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. Northbound 91, that looks good. We're not seeing any problems as you move from Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384 moving well. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound and 9 southbound heavy as you approach downtown Middletown, heading down to the Aragoni Bridge. If you're traveling westbound, 84 a little slow in Waterbury at the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound, you'll lose some speed in Waterbury by 18. And if you're traveling northbound on the Parkway, look for some slow traffic up by exit 59 in New Haven, just prior to the West Rock Tunnel. 95 South New Haven, slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Temperatures expected to run well above the historical average high here for this time of the year over the next couple of days. So another significant cool down is coming our direction as we head into the second half this weekend and into early next week. Out the door here for this afternoon, our latest storm will gradually push to the east. Look for any lingering shower coming to an end by this evening. Breezy with a high 51. Then breezy into tonight, partly cloudy, low 38. Blustery for tomorrow. Sunshine will mix in with some clouds. Cooler overall, though, still above average for this time of the year with a high 44. Cloudy and breezy for tomorrow night. Bit of rain and snow at times with little to no accumulation. Low 28 degrees. Saturday, cloudy, breezy, mild. Perhaps a passing shower for the afternoon. High 52. But temperatures drop after that as a powerful cold front sweeps across the area. Watch out for a rapid freeze up into Saturday night with a low of 20 degrees. Much colder for Sunday despite the sunshine. It will be blustery, a high of just 30. Plenty of sunshine, still cold for Monday with a high of just 33 degrees. This is meteorologist Matt Benz in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC at 1080 News. Two juveniles from Pennsylvania accused of firing on law enforcement officers there have been arrested in Hartford. U.S. Marshals working with Hartford police arrested the two today. The incident unfolded Sunday when Pennsylvania State Police received complaints of a passenger in a vehicle pointing a gun at other motorists on Interstate 81 in Cumberland County, PA. That prompted a 40-mile pursuit with Pennsylvania troopers that resulted in shots fired at police. Two were arrested there. PSP requested assistance from the marshals who developed leads that led them to Connecticut. Fugitives were arrested in a home on Townley Street in Hartford. They will be extradited back to Pennsylvania to face a slew of charges, including criminal attempt at homicide, receiving stolen property, and recklessly endangering another person, among others. Investigations continuing into what made about a dozen people sick at Thompson Middle School today. Officials did rule out carbon monoxide, but 12 fell ill, 5 of whom were students who were taken to Day Kimball Hospital. They were treated and have since been released. They did reopen. They evacuated the school for a time, but they were able to resume operations as normal, and dismissal went off as normal this afternoon as well. President Trump meeting at the White House with his UK counterpart.
President Trump is holding a news conference with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer after the leaders met at the White House. The president commented on ending the Russia-Ukraine war, saying the next step is a ceasefire.
I provided the Prime Minister with an update on our efforts to end the bloody and horrible war in Ukraine with Russia, which would never have happened if I were president.
President Trump said he's involved in the negotiations.
I had historic back-to-back calls with President Putin, very successful calls, I might add, and President Zelensky.
Starmer gave the president a letter from King Charles inviting him to visit his country.
It's not for me, it's for our country. It's respect for our country. So I just want to thank you, and I want to thank King Charles. Thank you very much, and we accept.
There have been no reported ICE raids at Hartford Public Schools, but Superintendent Leslie Torres Rodriguez says Trump immigration policies are making an impact on some. She says one high schooler and their family left the country under pressure.
The family, as I understand it, is given a choice to stay, the remaining, family members, and, the other parent elected to go back to their country. And so the child, the adolescent, also went back.
As she says, a mom pulled a third grader from school because of separation concerns. Child has not returned. The superintendent suspects immigration concerns are partially behind a 30% chronic absenteeism rate for grade K through 3. She says Hartford schools follow the law, educating Hartford children regardless of immigration status. District policy says ICE agents won't be allowed on campuses without a valid warrant. Friday's the final day for those needing utility payment assistance to apply at Operation Fuel. The nonprofit serves low and moderate income families in the state for as long as funding is available. It's been a particularly busy season, says Chief Program and Policy Officer Gannon Long.
There's not as many supports, frankly, in our state as folks need. And unfortunately, once Operation Fuel closes, there's not as many, it's like you want to have a place to send people that will always be there. And just our funding has not been able to keep up with the demand of people that need that help.
Long says applications that were submitted prior to the deadline will be processed and advises families in need of assistance to contact the utility directly. There is additional information also at ct.gov/heatinghelp. Gene Hackman had extraordinary range as an actor, playing drama, suspense, and even hamming it up as Lex Luthor in Superman.
How do you choose to congratulate the greatest criminal mind of our time? You tell me that I'm brilliant? Oh, no. That would be too obvious. I grant you.
Now there's new information on Hackman's death, along with that of his wife and a dog in their home in New Mexico.
A search warrant now calls the deaths suspicious. Foul play is not immediately indicated, but it appears there are enough question marks to warrant further investigation. The warrant says 95-year-old Hackman and his 63-year-old pianist wife, Betsy Arakawa, were found in different parts of their Santa Fe home and had apparently been dead for some time.
Good one,
One of the
Zach.
couple's dogs was found beside her. 2 other dogs were running loose on the property.
Closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Dow down 193 points, NASDAQ down 530, S&P down 94. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, it's big.
1 minute.
They beat CNN in key ratings as millions are tuning into Newsmax. Every night, Rob Schmidt is on Newsmax revealing the truth about Elon Musk's Doge.
Hey,
Tune in
Craig.
tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern and find out why Rob is the hottest person in cable news. Even President Trump is watching, and he says Newsmax is terrific. Reuters Institute reports that Newsmax is now one of the top news brands in America. Find out why. Just check out Newsmax on your cable system. Get Rob Schmidt with Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and much more. Download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone or home TV to start watching. It takes just seconds. With Newsmax Plus, you can watch our shows anytime. Go to newsmaxplus.com and start your free trial. That's newsmaxplus.com. Make the switch to Newsmax today.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We're going to take your phone calls soon, but stand by for that. I got to get this out of the way.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
You might have heard through the grapevine that Jake Tapper has a book coming out talking about Joe Biden and his cognitive decline. You may have even seen videos posted on X pretty much calling Jake Tapper a hypocrite. Back in 2020, he was speaking to Lara Trump when she said that even then, the former president was showing cognitive decline. Jake Tapper bristling, saying, I don't know what you're talking about. You're not, blah, blah. Well, now he's written a book about it. And there's a lot of people who were saying, oh, look at this guy. He's a hypocrite. He's all that stuff. You can check it out at reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Go check out the story. But I want to take a little bit of a perspective before we get to the traffic. And that's this. You should wait until this book comes out. Don't poo-poo it. According to reports, Jake Tapper spoke to a lot of people in the know, and what they revealed was jaw-dropping, which in my view is, if they knew, and Jake Tapper is reporting on it, perhaps there can be criminal liability. So let's not poo Jake Tapper yet. Let's find out what's in the book. Let's find out who knew what and when. And let's find out whether or not they defrauded the American people. Because those people who are in that book are about to expose themselves. They think they're doing something clever, but they may very well be doing something stupid. So let's hold off on the criticisms. This may be a diamond in the rough. As soon as I heard it, I heard what everybody said, and I said, nah, let's wait. This could be a benefit to us all. Let's get another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, sir?
Hey, Reese, thank you. 84 eastbound coming into Hartford. You're going to see delays from 44 Prospect Oakwood down into the tunnel. Westbound 84 is tied up, approaching the Bolte Bridge out to 47 Sigourney Street. Southbound 91, you've got some slow traffic in Hartford as you approach 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91's quiet, crumble up into Windsor Locks. 291, 384 moving well. 2 westbound just a little slow as you merge with 84 West. Both sides of 9 heavy as you approach the Aragoni Bridge. in Middletown. 9 northbound, some slow traffic, 32 to 34 Berlin into New Britain. If you're traveling 84 eastbound Waterbury, you're a little tight by exit 18. Again, some slow traffic going down the Big Hill toward the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 in Cheshire slowing 26 to 25 in Waterbury. And 95 southbound New Haven slows 46 down to exit 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
And here we go, the rain coming to an end as we head through this evening. That rain mainly south and east of Hartford at this point. We'll see drying conditions into tonight. Breezy, a low of 38. Tomorrow will be a blustery day. Sunshine will mix in with some clouds. High of 44 into tomorrow night. Cloudy, breezy. A bit of snow and rain may cross the area, but little is expected in the way of accumulation with a low of 28. We warm things up again for Saturday. Breezy, passing shower for the afternoon, a high of 52. And a big-time cool-down coming our direction heading into Sunday and early next week. Right now, it's 45 degrees in Manchester, 47 in Middletown, and 45 in Hartford. This is Matt Benz in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck. As you know, my friend Phil began Awaken 180 weight loss 2 weeks ago. First week, he lost almost 12 pounds. How was week 2, Phil?
I lost 5 more pounds. I was extremely pleased. I'm psyched.
Amazing. Awaken180weightloss.com.
If your air conditioner and furnace are over 10 years old, they've pretty much gone to the dogs. But at Ayala Home Services, we can fetch you a free furnace with our 2-for deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a new air conditioning system, you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no-obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P102776688, D1040145, D1185643, S3308699, HIC 628926, SM3004646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
Feel like everything's
Come on, minute.
Visit California's Psych.
What's the dude name I said filling in tomorrow?
Jay, I think you said Jimmy?
If it's not
Jimmy?
Yeah, is it Jason?
Experience
Jason?
certainty.
No, that's not it.
First time seeing my son. I
Not
feel like
Taylor,
I
is it?
Get a 180.
No.
Really a definition of like why he loves somebody.
Through all of fatherhood's first, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S.
He's gonna be in
Department of Health and
tomorrow?
Human Services and the Ad Council.
Yeah.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless
I think I have a
bill?
guest tomorrow. I just
When it comes
can't
to big
remember
wireless, if
who.
you're staying,
I gotta
You
check.
may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast.
Oh,
reliable
I know who I have
nationwide coverage
tomorrow.
Without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short.
I got a big
Our
guest
US-based
tomorrow.
experts
Really
will
big
get you
guest
switched
tomorrow.
in
Oh wow.
20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
President of the Chris Murphy Fan Club, Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We're going to get to your phones in a second, and I promise I will not inundate you with me just talking throughout this break. I've done a lot of talking. We'll get to your phone calls. I know the role of the talk show host is to talk, of course, and I do have content to share with you. But I do want to get to your phone calls because I know you want to chime in here. So let me say what I told everyone that I wanted you to be here for. This is important, that you share this if you can. If you can't record it, if you haven't recorded it, remember this timestamp. It is 12 minutes after the hour. And this is what I want to say. I had another opportunity, 3 altogether, to speak with Janet Serrano from our show yesterday. She wasn't on the show, but she was at a hearing in Hartford, and she said this.
Janet Serrano, good evening, everyone. I do not want to be up here. It tears me up to be up here. I have tried very hard to avoid this. January 2024, Leslie called me into her office. She asked me for a favor. May, I couldn't do it anymore. I went out on leave. First time in my career, I went out on leave. I was at 24. I worked for Hartford Public Schools for 23 years. All 5 of my evaluations. Had many vacation days, many sick days. I had enough sick days so I can take a full year. I came back in October. In 1 month, I worked in OTM. In 1 month, labor found enough evidence on me to terminate me. In 1 month, I worked for Hartford Public Schools for 23 years. what labor asked me the last day before I went out on administrative leave. What was the conversation that you had with Leslie? A conversation I had with her in January. And all they cared about was, what was that conversation about? I didn't say anything, Leslie. Anything. I kept quiet. I didn't say anything. And I was terminated. I tried to resign. I tried to retire. I'm disabled. And they didn't let me. When you retire, when you resign, you take that package with me. They didn't let me. I am disabled. I can't even collect unemployment. That secret stayed with me, Leslie. I never told anyone what you asked me to do. Never. Your secret is still with me. Still. 23 years with Hartford, and I'm terminated. I was dedicated, and you took everything from me, and that secret is still with me. I still hold that secret, Leslie.
She then came back to the podium and said, I also sent an email to everybody on the board, and I sent an email to the mayor, Mayor Arunin. Arumpapalum, I think. That's how you say his name. I found out today that she's
incorrect.
How do I pronounce it?
Lump or something like that?
Yeah, okay. Well, you're not helping. I found out today in my conversation with Janet Serrano, she didn't send an email to the mayor. She sent 12. I repeat, she sent 12. That's a lot. There's a reason why no one is responding, especially the school board. If I suspect anything, someone, if not everyone, is lawyering up. I would only assume. But like I said earlier, I know. I'm well aware of what happened and what went down. But let me tell you what I do know that I can say. As you heard Janet Serrano say, she took a leave of absence in May because she was sick to her stomach. She couldn't do it anymore. What she was asked in January, she was doing for 5 months and she had to leave. And while she was leaving, while she left, and she was out of the office for some 5 months, she returned and worked a month, and they found evidence of her and used said evidence to fire her. They framed her. What had been asked of her in January was used to terminate her. Do you understand what I'm saying? They took the 5 months while she was out of the office to frame her. When I heard that, I lost my mind. She was fired. She was made not to be able to collect her pension. She did everything that she could. And now she's penniless. After she did something that she knew in her good conscience she shouldn't do, but she was trying to help a friend who had asked her to, somebody that she knew for 14 years.
Ain't that much help in the world, dog.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Ain't that much help in the world. And she got fried for it. And now that I know exactly what happened, well, not exactly, let's just say I know 80% of what happened. The worst part about it is it's not just what had happened, it's who it happened to. Who it happened to is just bad. Just bad. And I kid you not, folks. Yesterday, somebody called up and said, "Hey, Reese, man, what if it's not as bad as you see it is? You know, somebody could say that it's something that could rock the school system and rock the city of Hartford, but what if it's not that bad?" Well, guess what, folks? It's that bad. It is going to rock the city of Hartford. William Tong, Justin Elicker, the governor, the Senate, representatives, you have been called out by Reese on the radio. You better start making calls to the mayor's office today. Find out what those emails are about. Get ahead of it. At least appear that you care about this, because I'm telling you, the people who have been wronged here, you don't want to be on the wrong side of. If this story even makes statewide, it's bad. But I guarantee you, and it doesn't matter who you are, what network you're with, it doesn't matter whether or not you want to cover it, you don't want to cover it, you can pretend to ignore it. This story's going national. It's so going national. And you know, the end result is nobody's being held for ransom. There's no extortion here. Nobody's holding anybody's feet to the fire. What you did to Janet Serrano needs to be corrected. And guess what? If I was smart, if anybody was smart, I would make sure that woman gets her pension yesterday. Allow her to retire, reinstate her, allow her to retire so she could get her pension today, just to look like a smidgen of you have a heart on you. That's how bad this is. And you people running around talking about how you care. You people running around here posting your chest out to the world about how everybody in here is evil and you care and you're the moral majority. You've got sense, you've got nurturing and caring, is all bunk. All of it is bunk. All of it is a lie. All of you are frauds. All of you are liars. Straight up liars. I'm calling it to your face. Nobody, I'm telling you, I don't care what anybody says. You know, there used to be a time when I wanted you people on this show so we can have an honest debate. I don't want to talk to any of you. I don't give a damn about you going on Brian Shackman's show. You better go there. Your credibility is shot. The most vulnerable people in the world are absolutely the most vulnerable people in the world that are being taken advantage of. And the people who are doing it are the people who are supposed to be telling the rest of us that they care. You're a bunch of liars. You're cretins. You're cretins. You're disgusting. You're despicable. You're pathetic. And you made my wife cry yesterday. I hate you. I hate you. I got to go to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to JC in Wethersfield. How are we doing, JC?
I'm doing good. I'd like to give you a case from when I was in high school a long time ago in Wethersfield. A guy one of the students was bullied. He didn't take it. He couldn't take it no more. I heard it was a pencil. I've also heard it was just a regular knife, and he stabbed another student in the cafeteria. Almost died. It was Dr. Golden's son.
Oh, wow.
He was taken away. He got a sentence at Connecticut Valley Hospital. And then in 1968 to 70, I'm not exactly sure, 68, 69, somewhere in there. But in 1989, he was given a one-day pass and some money to leave Connecticut Valley Hospital. And he went down to Middletown to the street fair. The money they gave him, he picked up a knife. And he ended up picking out Jessica Short, 9-year-old girl, stabbed and killed her. This is what happens when doctors say somebody has been rehabilitated. So his name is David Peterson. You can look it all up. And I just am...
you got every right to be a skeptic with that story alone, my friend. You got a right to be a
So this
skeptic.
So I was there in that high school when that happened, and then here they let him out. They said that he could be he was rehabilitated, and I don't want to forget Jessica Short. She was 9 years old, and he killed her, all because some doctor said he was rehabilitated and he can go out. But it was David Peterson, and he's still, I think, locked up in CVH. And he had basically said that he was paranoid, schizophrenic.
Yep.
And he stabbed her to get revenge on his doctors.
Damn.
Okay. And I just just want people not to forget that this is the life. This is what these doctors say. And I hope the state of Connecticut will be safe.
Yeah,
once
indeed.
He's out. This man here that was just released. And I just I'm very skeptical that it will. I'm just hoping nobody's in his path when he decides to flip, just like David Peterson did, because he got mad because he had been locked up. And
I understand. Thank you, JC. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for telling us that. Much appreciated, sir. Let me get to Pete in Northford. How we doing, Pete?
Hey, good afternoon, Reese. First-time caller.
Thank you, sir.
I'm listening to you talk about Tong. Actually, I can't speak intelligently about this last situation with this woman at the school, but I am going to read up on it, get some more background.
Okay.
But I want to talk to you a little bit about Tong and how right on the money you are with these absolute biblical-sized frauds.
Yeah.
Okay? These people are vile. They're vile. They will say or do anything to retain their power. And as soon as the rest of the state wakes up to this, okay, the better off we're all going to be. I mean, the global Marxists here, Reese, they are on the march.
Indeed.
Okay, they're on the march, and they are slowly taking over and dragging this state into the sewer. And I'm not quite so sure. Now, I want your opinion on this.
Yes, sir.
I am so sick and tired of the weak-kneed, no-guts Republican Party in this state, and especially the state leadership of the party. These people are useless, right? Useless. They cry they have no money. We have no funds. You have no guts. What do you want us, the taxpayer, to do? You want us to write you out a check when you show no leadership, no inspiration whatsoever? How are we supposed to rally around you people? You're supposed to be the leaders, okay? You are leading us down a path of destruction, and we're almost there. I am fed up with it, okay? I'm also fed up with hearing the excuse that there are different shades of red throughout the state of Connecticut, and it's hard for us to unify. Well, you know what? There's different shades of blue also, and it sure is working well for
Exactly. You're 100% right. They don't have a problem unifying on the blue side. 100% right. I'm not sure if there's a question in there, Pete, but I get your point, and I'm with you in solidarity, my friend. Thank you so much for making us your first-time call, at least to hear. I appreciate you, sir. We got to get to a break, though, but thank you again. Let's go to another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. I've got a whole bunch more to get into this and your phone calls. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you. If you're southbound 91, delays 34 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 to 28. Northbound 91, you're just a little slow now as you move up into Weathersealed by exit 2526 for the Putnam Bridge. After that, good ride. Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing. Approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 46 Sisson Avenue. 84 eastbound delays about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue down into the Bulkley Bridge. 291 384 okay. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Both sides of 9 heavy as you approach the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 9 northbound delays Berlin into New Britain, 32 to 34. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing by 18. 84 eastbound in Cheshire, some slow traffic moving down by the 691 interchange. 84 eastbound in Newtown delays 10 to 11. New Haven, 95 southbound, look for slow traffic 46 down to 43. In West Haven, traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Temperatures expected to run well above the historical average high here for this time of the year over the next couple of days. So another significant cool down is coming our direction as we head into the second half this weekend and into early next week. Out the door here for this afternoon, our latest storm will gradually push to the east. Look for any lingering shower coming to an end by this evening. Breezy with a high 51. Then breezy into tonight, partly cloudy, low 38. Blustery for tomorrow. Sunshine will mix in with some clouds. Cooler overall, though still above average for this time of the year with a high 44. Cloudy and breezy for tomorrow night. Bit of rain and snow at times with little to no accumulation, low 28 degrees. Saturday, cloudy, breezy, mild, perhaps a passing shower for the afternoon, high 52. But temperatures drop after that as a powerful cold front sweeps across the area. Watch out for a rapid freeze up into Saturday night with a low of 20 degrees. Much colder for Sunday despite the sunshine. It will be blustery, a high of just 30. Plenty of sunshine, still cold for Monday with a high of just 33 degrees. This is meteorologist Matt Benz in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
It's 4:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is applauding President Trump's push to end Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but says it can't be peace that rewards the aggressor. Starmer at the White House today saying that history must be on the side of the peacemaker, not the invader. Authorities in New Mexico say the deaths of actor Gene Hackman and his wife are considered suspicious. They don't believe foul play was involved, at least not at this time, but that investigation is ongoing. The 95-year-old Hackman and his pianist wife, Betsy Arakawa, were found along with one of their dogs in the home. About a dozen people fell ill at Thompson Middle School today. Officials say it was not carbon monoxide. The school was evacuated briefly and then reopened, and the investigation is continuing there. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum says she hopes to speak with President Trump now that he has announced plans to impose tariffs on Mexico and Canada. That all starts on Tuesday. The president said he's also doubling the 10% universal tariff charged on imports with China. Hundreds of former USAID employees showing up in D.C. to collect their personal property today and tomorrow. They'll be limited to 15 minutes to do just that. Down day on Wall Street. Dow lost 193 points. NASDAQ shed 530, and the S&P was down 94 points. Women's college basketball tonight. Fifth-ranked UConn hosts number 22 Creighton. And in the NHL, the Isles face the Bruins. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford
to
take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and tax. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I want to go straight to the phones. I know this is a short break, but I want to go to Lynn in West Suffield. How are you, Lynn?
I'm doing okay.
I was calling because I'm thinking that the guy they let out, the doctors should be made to take him in for a while to make sure he's going to be okay once he is let out. But I also wanted to say, back on March 7th, 2023, a senator, several mayors, and a couple other people had a Zoom meeting. And they admitted on this Zoom meeting, I have the clip, where they admitted to knowingly letting criminals walk around with illegal guns to protect themselves, and they refused to arrest them. So believe me, they do not care.
I know they don't.
At all.
I know they
about
don't.
anybody's safety or anything. They don't. They just don't care. They closed, 3 prisons?
Yeah, it's the insulation of these politicians and other folks in the state know that, one, no one's going to challenge them, right, at all. So you can imagine if you have a news media who feels like, hey, if we criticize these guys, they'll never let us interview them. They'll never come on our shows. And that's what they care about. These local news networks, that's their most important get, is getting the powerful people on their programs. So they get to pat themselves on the back. Hey, look, we've got the governor. We've got the senator. That's the stuff that that's what stuff that means the most to them. They live and they die by the guests that they can get. They don't care pretty much about the ratings or the people that they're there to serve, and that's you. They care about whether or not they get the guest.
There you go.
So
they admitted it, like I said. Yeah, it was like many mayors, a senator, and all of them on a Zoom call admitted that they're letting criminals walk around with illegal guns and for their own protection, so they can protect themselves. And they refuse to arrest them or prosecute them.
Look, if this thing goes the way that I think it's going to go, Lynn, what I'm expecting is some of the biggest names in this state, as far as political power is concerned, are going to be the cockroaches that run when the lights are turned on. They'll all feign, I don't know, I didn't see anything. No one told me. That's exactly what they're going to do.
Right.
So we're hoping, I'm hoping Mark Fitch gets the information that he wants, but you know what? If there's anything, I want them all to lawyer up. I want them all to lawyer up.
Yeah, exactly. It's horrible what they're doing and trying to get away with.
Yeah.
You know, even a teacher, it's horrible.
Yeah. Thank you, Lynn. Much appreciated for the call. Right. I'm going to get to the rest of you in a short bit. We've got plenty of other news and stuff to talk about. We got the Epstein files. It's actually been handed out to people online, like influencers, as well as the news media. I'm sure they're going through that file yet. If there's anyone who's seen some posting on that, I haven't seen anything because my damn laptop, well, it's not my laptop, it's my keyboard. It's kind of screwing up on me, so I have to go get another keyboard. I've had it for a lot of years. I never throw anything away. I used to say that about, never mind. I'm not going to repeat. Not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I was going to say that's the reason why I was married to my ex-wife for 10 years, but that's just a mean thing to say. We're good friends now. That's something I would have said as a joke, but now it's mean-spirited because I really love my ex-wife. She and I are really, really good friends, and that's unwarranted meanness to say about your ex-wife. Throw her under the bus that way. I'm trying to be a good guy. You know, Mark Christopher's in the BPS traffic center. I see this trend online a lot. Guys who are still friends with their ex-girlfriends or ex-wives. Do you have any of your?
Are.
Well,
you
I
are.
am. Yeah, trust me. People are astonished by me.
How many wives have you had?
I'm on my 4th.
Okay, so are you friends with the other 3?
One out of 4. I'm cool with.
4.
Yeah,
okay.
the current one she's kind of peachy keen. But yes, 1 out of 4. The first one, no enemies. But do you have like an ex-girlfriend that you're like still kind of not chummy, but cool with? Like, hey,
No, I don't even know where they are. Let me think. No, I'm trying to think. 3 of them are still around. I don't see
like
them
still
though,
live in Connecticut, like in
I believe so.
in the old neighborhood.
1, 2, 3. I think 3 of them are still in the state.
Okay,
but 3 maybe.
He's
4,
not stalking them at all, folks.
I have no idea. I mean, you know what? Why do I want to?
I know you don't want to go down that avenue anyway.
No, why do I want to ruin
nobody
their day?
does.
So I don't.
I'm not going to lie.
contact
I've
them.
recently looked up a girlfriend from the 90s And
Yep.
she was a very wealthy girl. I'll tell you another story,
Oh,
but this
nice.
very wealthy
Nice.
girl in the 90s.
Nice.
But I will tell you this. When I looked her up, I found out that she is a square dance teacher in Arizona.
So she was making crazy money in the 90s, and now she's.
Oh, no,
straight
her parents were wealthy, and she was always one of those artistic types that wanted to do
okay.
things that were like, to help the poor. She was with
Yeah,
4-H.
Okay.
She's one of those
Well, when your
people
parents
guilty
are-
of, she was guilty about being rich.
Oh, okay. So she wanted to help the poor.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? When your family's rich, you can sort of, you can do things like that.
Yeah.
Money isn't the main concern, but. Well, Reese, why don't you call them all up tonight and
Nope.
and tape the response and play it back tomorrow? I would love to hear that.
Yeah.
If you're westbound, if you're westbound 84, you got delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge. Out to exit 47, Sigourney Street 84 eastbound, slowing a half mile before 46. Down into the tunnel. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A&B. South of downtown a little slow, 27 down to 28. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291 through 84 okay east of the river. 2 westbound slowing as you merge with 84 west. And East Hartford 9 northbound moving well, Cromwell up into Windsor Locks. Northbound Route 9 in Berlin, some slow traffic 32 up to 34 in New Britain. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing by 18. 84 eastbound a little tight again as you move down by the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 into Waterbury slowing 26 up to exit 25 in Waterbury. 95 South New Haven tight 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
And the showers starting to come to an end from west to east as we head into this evening. So drier conditions expected for tonight as skies turn out partly cloudy, breezy, low of 38 tomorrow, blustery. Sunshine will mix in with some afternoon clouds, a high of 44. Into tomorrow night, cloudy and breezy. Just a bit of snow and rain crossing the area. Little to no accumulation expected with a low of 28. And into this weekend, a mild day expected for Saturday. Breezy, though, with plenty of clouds. There could be a passing shower spots for the afternoon with a high of 52, but much colder as we head into Sunday. Another shot of Arctic air returns to much of the Northeast. Right now, it's 45 degrees in Manchester, 46 in New Britain, 45 in Hartford. This is Matt Benz in the WTIC Weather Center.
Choose Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil, formulated for today's engines only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $32.99 in-store only. Limits apply. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If your air conditioner and furnace are over 10 years old, they've pretty much gone to the dogs. But at Ayala Home Services, we can fetch you a free furnace with our 2-for deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a new air conditioning system, you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no-obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P1027768A, D10401465, E11856643, S33088699, HIC 628926, SM30044646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
Your legend begins aboard the
Dave in
Disney
Ellington
Destiny.
is not
We
the
have
guy
your
who always
chance to
calls
win a
up
trip for 4 to
sounding
set
a little
sail on the
inebriated,
all-new
is
ship
he?
from Disney Cruise
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Summer
okay, we won't pick him.
2025. Embrace the tales of your favorite Disney, Pixar.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
Villains as
join
you
the
write your
club.
own incredible vacation story. Winning is easy. Just download the free Odyssey app. Log in and listen to this station or any participating station. Listen each day for a minimum of 1 hour for your daily entry in this national contest. Your legend begins where the magic meets the sea on the Disney Destiny.
On WTIC News Talk 1080.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions.
1 minute.
Rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text LINE to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients and for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text LINE to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text LINE to 200-300. That's LINE to 200-300. LINE to 200-300.
The self-proclaimed love child of Rush Limbaugh.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We'll soon get back to the phones. Yeah, so apparently you guys are still learning about me. I thought that everybody knew about how many ex-wives there were. Mark in West Hartford says, forgot how many ex-wives and girlfriends you still talk to. I want to know how many program directors and GMs you still talk to. So there were 8 program directors, not many GMs that I was ever really cool with, but 8 program directors, 8 of them. And I currently only talk to one of them, and that's Janine. And I've reached out to 2 of them. One of my, Michael Saunders just celebrated a birthday. I sent him a message on LinkedIn. You think he'd respond, jerk. And I liked him. I really, really liked him. Until he got carted off by Elliot Spitzer's goons for payola. That was interesting. Yeah, the feds came to the station, hauled him out in handcuffs. It was bad. I guess apparently a record label gave him a flat screen TV or some nonsense like that. I think it was alleged. I don't know. That's what was alleged. And then, of course, Elliot Spitzer, you might remember him, client number 9, I think he was. Somebody correct me in the chat room. I think it was client number 9, and he was charged with trafficking a sex worker across state lines. Yeah, Michael Saunders was definitely celebrating when that happened. That was an interesting time in New York. Ooh, that was interesting. Anyway, to the phones we go. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to my good friend Mike in Plainville. How are you, sir?
Good. Ditto to the caller just before the news break.
Yeah.
He did a short commentary on the way the tide is turning.
Yeah.
But as far as this Hartford thing, nothing in the paper. I'm not surprised.
You're not going to.
You know, it could be so many things, and you know more than I do, but I don't know any more than the average guy in the street. 80% of incidents like this, similar, involve money. Money's always an ingredient. You know that. Money and
this
who knows? Infidelity, who knows, illegal hiring practices. But for this woman to get stoned like she did, with no pension, no benefits, and just an outright firing, it doesn't surprise me. In the city of Hartford, the lack, we have a new mayor. Mm-hmm. You're not making a very good impression.
Yeah, and you know what's such a good point, because even Roland brought that up to me when I was telling him about it. And he said to me, you mean the new mayor? I'm like, yes, the new mayor. And if ever you want to make an impression right off the rip, when you get information like this from someone who's worked in the Hartford school system, which again is the most scrutinized, if not maligned, public service in the country, right? What is the biggest criticism? The biggest criticism in a country we talk about is how either indoctrination, LGBTQ conversations, we got the Bob Duff stuff with the books inside the school libraries. With all of that going on, you get this woman to contact you about something going on in the school system, a scandal, I might add, and no one even says a word. You get 12 emails. Oh, I didn't even tell you the good part. I'm sorry. I forgot the most important part, Mike. I forgot to say this.
I don't.
She told me this. She said when I asked her today, I said, I wanted to tell you, you said I sent an email to the mayor's office. And I said, yeah. And she goes, no, I sent 12. She said, I sent 12. And I went, oh, it's 12. I said, oh, that's crazy that he didn't respond. She goes, but I even went down to his office, Mike, she says, and I got confirmation that they received them.
You'd be surprised how many cases like this that are out there, that have been out there and are pending in court. There's thousands of them. Labor issues. So imagine the amount of corporations, the size of these companies. People are getting fired illegally and legally, and every day. There's thousands of cases out there.
Oh, I'll put it to you this way. The reason why I can't talk about it, because even if I give an idea, right now I'm implicating people, and you know what? There's not really implicated, because I'm not implicating any individuals, but all I'm saying is that the superintendent is involved in the biggest cover-up in the damn state. Okay? That's all I can say.
What? We're used to it. We're conditioned, because local, state, and federal governments, forget it. I don't even bother asking again. I'll watch it. Maybe I'll ask a question or two, but it's not a case I'm going to pursue. I just leave it alone. That's what you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that The cowardice is unmatched in this case, man. Thank you, big guy. I appreciate you. Let's go to Tom, who's in Hamden. I almost said Tim. It's Tom in Hamden. How are you, Tom? Don't want to confuse you with that guy.
I'm fine. Oh, I've heard that other guy. Yeah.
Yes, you're
yeah,
Tom.
That's right. Hey, I'm a little bit confused here. Thank you. And I hope you're having a great afternoon. It seems this is a strange program. This is actually the second time I've listened to it. I don't quite understand. I mean, the woman just left her job for 5 months and then tried to come back and then left for another month or something. I mean, well, of course she should be fired. Am I missing something? I might have missed something.
No. Okay, no, it's okay.
No.
Missing it, I don't want to have to play the whole video, but so again, to bring it from the beginning to the end, and I'll try to give you the Reader's Digest version. January, she's called into the superintendent's office and asked to do a favor. She says yes, she does the favor. Whether or not there was any trepidation or any hesitance to it, we don't know. That's another part of the story. But she chose to do what the superintendent, Leslie Torres, asked her. She did it, apparently, she did it several times up until May of that same year. That's what she says in her testimony. She says when it came to about May, she couldn't do it anymore, she says. So in essence, do it anymore means that she was asked to do it multiple times. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So it made her sick, and she took a leave of absence because she accumulated enough sick time
against her conscience.
Right. It was against her conscience, and she had accumulated in 23 years enough sick time to take off for a year out of 23 years of service. So, and again, and she describes that. So she, in essence, because this is eating away at her, she can't bring herself to it. Now, again, she told me her personal story, and now I understand why she took that time off. She takes the time off for those months. She gets back in October. She's there a month. A month into her return, she's called in by labor, and she's told that she is responsible for all of these things that she, in other words, they allege these things against her. The things that she's alleged to have done is associated with the favor she was asked. So now they're pinning it on her. And they got 5 months of her out of the office in order to do it. Allegedly.
Did they mention what favor it was? Was it something really
that
crazy
was where
or something like,
And again, that's got to be in the public record. So again, all we have to do, and this is just one of those things, a public records request, all we have to do is say, can we see the records that involve the firing of Janet Serrano? Now, they will probably say that that's privileged information. It's quite possible. But even she can request the release, or she can release herself the items that were the conditions of her firing. And there will have the reasons why she did. She said they came up with allegations against her. So let's find out what the allegations are. And in those allegations, the things she was fired of, that's where, that's it right there. There's a smoking gun.
That's where it is.
Yep.
Holy smokes. All right. It does sound definitely a little creepy. I hope she's going to be okay. I mean, she'll have to fight a little bit, obviously, but holy God, I hope it works out for her.
You got it.
Sounds a little awful. All right. Thanks for clearing it up for me. I'm sorry to bug you.
No, man. You're good. Hey, that's what the show's about, man. We're here to inform, entertain, and enlighten, my friend. My pleasure. Thank you. Let's go to Bob. Bob is in Torrington. How we doing, Bob? Bob, no? Okay, Bob, no. You know what? Let's go Simsbury Joe. How we doing, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you. So I know you can't say what it specifically is, so on behalf of some other people, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions that answering them will not put you in a situation where you're violating the confidence that she put in you. Were we right yesterday with describing her general job responsibilities, and is the issue within those responsibilities?
No.
Okay. Would the average person be made physically ill by doing what she was asked to do?
Yes.
And the last one, the big one, was the safety or potential safety of children impacted in any way by this?
Yes.
That's my last question.
That's it. That's all I can tell you.
And I think we learned a lot.
And I thank you for asking.
So I'm processing your answers here on that last one. At some point, it's going to come out, and anything that impacted or had the potential to impact the safety of children, we're going to have some real battles in this state if people want to pick sides, and they pick the side that is not in favor of the children 100%.
They will not be able to. Like I said earlier in the earlier break, there are going to be people who are going to be running for rocks and cabinets like roaches when the lights turn on. If they've either got to come full-throated.
The average voters that support the crime family that runs this, not only the city of Hartford but the state.
This is and it's good. The really, really scary part about this is, and I'll put it to you this way, Joe, it's the part about it is that I am so sick and tired. And it's not just the people who should be stepping up and our elected officials and superintendents and all that other stuff, is the people in these organizations that support them, like the activist class on the left who run out there in the rallies and they, hold up the signs for these individuals while they stand behind guys like William Tung and Chris Murphy while they scream at the moon, you know what I mean? So and shout and holler about nobody cares about the average person. Let me tell you this, and again, wholeheartedly, this is the part that bothers me the most, okay? Is that I know, and I've always felt this way. I scream at my family members about this. These people are used, okay? The people that they talk about they're protecting or they care the most about, they use these people to prop themselves up. They are nothing more than accessories, okay? These guys... whether they be illegals, whether or not they be children, whether or not they be special ed kids, no matter what they are, if you hear these people talking about advocating for them, they are nothing more than a Marc Jacobs bag to these people. That's all they are.
These people disgust me, and they disgust virtually everyone listening to your show. We know what they're about. They're fake. They lie. Their values are questionable, and I hope that when this comes out, that she's able, with all of our help, to absolutely destroy those people who did not do the right thing. And I guarantee there are people that know about this that would like to do the right thing, but they're going to, and I've talked about this many times, they're going to follow process.
Mm-hmm.
We have to let the process play out as opposed to coming forth and saying, hey, I can't tell you exactly what the situation is, but this woman is getting screwed over by the city of Hartford. That's what we need. We need heroes to come out and say that.
Like I said, and I expressed this to her. I said, look, I can't get you salvation. I can't get you a pound of flesh. But if we could get at least somebody to step up to give her an opportunity to, one, be reinstated and allow her to retire and at least get her pension, because that's all she wants. She just wants to retire, get her pension, and get out of the school system. That's all she wants. She wants to get back to her regular life, but she can't. She doesn't want to go back to a penniless life. She doesn't deserve that after 23 years of service. She doesn't deserve it. So
nope,
she's asking for small beans, man, and we should at least be able to get her that. So, thank you, Joe.
So. Thank you very much for trying to do that for her.
You got it, sir. Let's take another check of our traffic and weather. I heard the rain just stopped, or a little while ago. Let's get to Mark Christopher to BPS Traffic Center. How are we doing, sir?
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you are traveling into Hartford right now on the eastbound side of I-84, look out for a crash by 44 Prospect Oakwood. It is in the left shoulder and maybe a little bit of that left lane taken out there. So just use caution there. You're looking at delays 84 eastbound from 44 Prospect Oakwood down into the tunnel. Westbound 84 is slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Southbound 91 delays 34 down to 32 A and B. And again, a little slow as you move down by exit 19 to 18 in Meriden. Northbound 91 easy ride Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound's a little slow as you approach the Aragoni Bridge. 9 north again is slowing from 32 in Berlin up to exit 34. in New Britain. Westbound 84 is slowing from 26 in Cheshire up to 25 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound slowing by exit 18 to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Southbound Parkway, look for delays from exit 60 in Hamden down into the West Rock Tunnel. Southbound 95 delays 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Breezy for the remainder of today with a lingering shower, high 51 degrees, and drying out for tonight, becoming partly cloudy, remaining breezy, though, with a low of 38. Blustery tomorrow, sunshine will mix in with some clouds with a high of 44. Breezy into tomorrow night, there could be a bit of snow and rain at times, though little to no accumulation expected with a low of 28. Passing shower into Saturday, especially for the afternoon, cloudy and breezy, high of 52 degrees, trending much colder than by Sunday. This is meteorologist Matt Benz in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 5 o'clock, Hartford temperature 47 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. About a dozen people at Thompson Middle School were taken to the hospital today after they fell ill, including 5 students. They and staffers were evacuated around 9:30. Officials say it was not due to carbon monoxide. They're still investigating. School was briefly evacuated, ended up going back into regular session, and there was a normal dismissal scheduled for this afternoon. There are still more questions than answers surrounding the death of actor Gene Hackman and his wife in their New Mexico home. Correspondent Anna Schechter.
The affidavits that we obtained did not list a cause of death, but did note that the deaths were suspicious enough in nature as to require a thorough search and investigation, because the reporting party, the person who called authorities, found the front door of the residence unsecured and open.
Hackman was found in a mudroom, his wife in a bedroom. One of the couple's dogs was also found dead. President Trump's hosting the British Prime Minister at the White House today to talk about Ukraine.
I think we've made a lot of progress, and I think it's moving along pretty rapidly.
We're focused now on bringing an enduring end to the barbaric war in Ukraine.
Keir Starmer likely seeking more assurances that the U.S. will help in securing the peace.
He is on record as saying the UK would send peacekeepers to Ukraine. Likely other European countries would too. So, for example, he might push President Trump to commit resources to support such a mission with intelligence, maybe air power, something like that.
CBS's Liz Palmer reporting. U.S. Marshals say 2 juveniles who were involved in a shooting incident with Pennsylvania State Police have been arrested in Hartford. That incident unfolded Sunday when Pennsylvania State Police say they received reports someone was pointing a gun at motorists on I-81 in Cumberland County. That led to a 40-mile pursuit in which 2 suspects were arrested. The other 2 were tracked to Hartford by marshals. The juveniles arrested at a home on Townley Street. They're facing firearms, reckless endangerment, and other charges, and will be extradited back to Pennsylvania. Democratic state treasurers say drastic Republican budget cuts will put a strain on state economies. They're concerned about Elon Musk's cuts to congressionally approved spending, but they're also alarmed by this week's GOP budget bill passed out of the House. Connecticut State Treasurer Eric Russell calling out the GOP's planned cuts to Medicaid.
There are nearly 1 million people in Connecticut that are covered by Medicaid, including hundreds of thousands of children. There are numerous elderly folks that are in nursing homes. Half of the children, almost half the children born in Connecticut on an annual basis, their birth is covered by Husky, our state's Medicaid program.
The Republican chair of the House Budget Committee says this week's bill would reduce the deficit. A nonpartisan analysis says it could add $11 trillion to the debt over a 10-year period. Operation Fuel, the nonprofit here that offers utility payment assistance to low and moderate income families, will end its application process for the season on Friday. Applications submitted prior to the 4 p.m. deadline will be processed. Chief Utility and Program Director Gannon Long says 4,300 households have reached out in the last 4 weeks.
You know, broadly, we're looking for more support, and I think the state of Connecticut has a real interest in, you know, when you help people when they first get in trouble and when they're first behind on their bills, it saves a lot of costs down the line for the system later on.
She says those who need assistance can also contact the utility to work out a payment plan or go to ct.gov/heating-help. Wall Street, the Dow down 193 points today, the NASDAQ off 530 points, and the S&P gave back 94. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
If your air conditioner and furnace are over 10 years old, to the dogs. But at Ayala Home Services, we can fetch you a free furnace with our 2-for deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a new air conditioning system, you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no-obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P1027768A, D1040145, E1185643, S3308699, HIC 628926, SM3004646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
It's Sarah Samuels, co-host of the Retirement Income Source, heard Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m. and again at 12:30 p.m. In retirement, it's all about the income, and that's real income, generated from interest and dividends. If your advisor is selling your portfolio shares and writing you a check, that's... To learn how to generate retirement income the right way, tune in to the Retirement Income Source Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m.
Retirement Income Source with David Scranton is a paid program.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
As a lot of you know, I am a huge movie guy. Not as of late, but when I say I'm a movie guy, movies from my youth, in my 20s, some in my 30s. But growing up, I was a big fan of movies, the Hollywood types. And if there was ever a guy that you can love and respect as an actor who took your breath away no matter what he was in, he was always good in it, even when it was garbage, was Gene Hackman. And again, I don't want to call myself some sort of expert, but I will say this, that my dream was to be like a Siskel or Ebert. Like I wanted to be, Reese on the radio gives this movie 2 thumbs up. I fantasized about stuff like that. I've even done mock movie reviews on my Facebook page, just as a joke, because I kind of wanted to be taken seriously. But Gene Hackman was one of my favorite. I'm sure he's a favorite of yours. And if you have a particular movie, put it in the chat room. And let me know. I want to talk about him at least tomorrow a little bit. But there was this one movie that stuck with me. And there are plenty of them. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to put this one out as like the best movie he's ever done. I don't want to get anybody to give that impression. This was just a movie that I kind of watched. And there are a lot of movies that I watched when I had nothing to do on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon. There's no football on and it comes on basic cable or cable. It was a movie called Narrow Margin. And it was Gene Hackman and Ann Archer, who I still love. I had a huge crush on her. Mary Steenburgen is a list. Anyway, I love Ann Archer. Huge fan of hers. And this movie, it takes place on a train. And it's such a good movie, a thriller. If you've never seen it, please go look at it. It got a 6.6 in IMDb. But I kind of feel like it's so underrated. It's a great Gene Hackman movie called Narrow Margin. And boy, is it good. It's just, it plays like a suspense thriller in a book. That's how great it is. I love that movie. I always think of it when I think of him because it's one of those movies that he isn't always remembered for. But the one that will stick with me to death, and I got to mention it before Mark Christopher gets in here, it's Mississippi Burning, because he's got 2 of the greatest scenes ever in film. And the first scene is when he grabs the genitalia of that hillbilly. I can't remember the actor's name, Mark Christopher, in the BPS Traffic Center, but he grabs the private area of that one hillbilly where the guy threatens him and whatnot, and he throws him. But my favorite part of Mississippi Burning is when he slaps the ish out of William Dafoe in Mississippi Burning. I watched that scene 1,000 times. Woo! That movie, that is the perfect illustration of the bee slap in the downward 45-degree angle. Have you ever seen that Mississippi? I know you've seen Mississippi Burning, Mark Christopher.
No,
What?
I admit it.
You just have go see
Hoosiers. I've seen Hoosiers.
Hoosiers is a great movie.
Great movie.
Do
I
you
agree.
know how Dennis Hopper played the drunk scene in the when he interrupts the basketball game? Do you know how he pulled that off?
How?
They spun him around in a circle like 20 times.
Oh, wow. That'll do it.
That's how he got to walk out there and be so convincing as a drunk.
Oh, man. That'll do it.
That's such a great scene. But
Dude,
I will tell you
absolutely.
this. If you ever want to see a great thriller, the best movie Gene Hackman's ever made, yes, I'm saying it, it's Crimson Tide. That movie, it's the best Gene Hackman movie, and Denzel Washington, everybody is in that movie. Go see Crimson Tide if you haven't seen it.
He's one of the all-time great actors, no
He
question
is,
about
without
it.
a doubt.
What a sad story coming out of New Mexico. All right, Reese, thank you. If you're 84 eastbound, look for delays about a mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. We have an accident on the left shoulder just after 44 Prospect Oakwood. Use caution. Westbound 84 is tied up just after 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. Southbound 91 delays Hartford 33 to 32. Again, down by exit 28. Northbound 91 good ride Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291 384 okay. 2 eastbound moving about Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound a little slow at the Oregoni Bridge in Middletown. 84 eastbound, some slow traffic by 18 in Waterbury. Westbound 84 slows 25A up to exit 25 on the westbound side of 84 in Waterbury. Southbound Parkway delays 60 into the West Rock. 95 southbound, you're slowing 46 to 43 New Haven into West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
And the showers wrapping up as we head into this evening and clearing skies into tonight. Breezy, we're heading down to a low of 38. Tomorrow, blustery. Sunshine will mix in with some clouds. High of 44 for the afternoon. Temperatures go up briefly here to start this weekend, but not before we see a bit of snow and rain at times tomorrow night. Little to no accumulation expected with a low of 28, and perhaps a passing shower into Saturday afternoon. High of 52 degrees. Don't get too used to it. Much colder air returns for the second half of the weekend with highs back into the 30s. Right now, it's 46 degrees in Farmington, 45 in West Hartford, and 45 right now in Hartford. This is Matt Benz in the WTIC Weather Center.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck. As you know, my friend Phil began Awaken 180 weight loss 2 weeks ago. First week, he lost almost 12 pounds. How was week 2, Phil?
I lost 5 more pounds. I was extremely pleased. I'm psyched.
Amazing. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-253-6259. 800-253-6259. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-253-6259.
Reese on the radio is getting ready to drop some knowledge on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Drop it. I wait for you. I won't say anything until you say it. It's Reese on the radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. We're going right to the phones right now because you guys have been holding. I don't like having you guys hold for a long time, but I have to do it because there's so much content to get into. But when I tell you to call, thank you for waiting. Let's go to Dave, who's in Branford. How are you, sir?
Yeah, Reese, I hate to do old stories, but I'm a newspaper reader.
I know.
Because I get the facts, I can refer back to them and get it exactly right. So last Friday, your station had the news that the Wanda Gita Pataki ballot stuffing story, she had turned herself in. It was on TV for one day only, and there's been virtually nothing in the papers. So yesterday's Hartford Courant had the first paper story on the Courant that I've seen.
Okay.
And it was on section 2 at the bottom of the page. They kind of buried it. Which, they had the front page story. A parking garage got detonated in Hartford. That was the front page. So anyway, 5 Bridgeport Democrats accused of voter fraud in primary. Andrew Brown and Dave Altamari wrote the story. Connecticut Mirror is what it's under. So 5 Bridgeport principals, 150 election-related crimes.
Yeah.
Wanda Jeter herself, 92 charges were filed against her.
Please please get to the best part of this story with one of the defendants. I hope you got the quote ready.
In my opinion, the best part, which is on page 2, was that it was at the behest of Mayor Ganem, who instructed her to do this.
That's right.
Which is the first time in print I have seen Mayor Ganem dragged into the story.
Well,
previously, he had said he knows nothing about it.
Was it the councilman who said that he was doing what the Democrats told him to do?
It was Ganem and, there were 3 elected council people who got indicted.
Right.
And I don't see any point in reading their name. And a 4th council woman, Anita Martinez, and Mayor Ganem apparently were the brains of the outfit, coming out of the top office. And one of these women and previous stories, people who were barely literate in English, possibly illegal aliens, were induced to hand over their unfilled out ballots under promise of getting extra housing assistance or keeping their Section 8 housing. And so you've got, kind of a matter of extortion or bribery in there. And it's a very good, well-researched story, even though they tried to bury it in Section 2. And if you can get yesterday's Hartford Courant, there's a lot of good stuff there. These people who were harvesting the ballots went into the nursing home, to induce the senile to sign something.
Yes, exactly.
It's just horrible.
But my favorite quote from all of it, Dave, was when that one councilman says, "I was just doing what the Democrat Party tells us to do, get out the vote." He says, "They ask us to do the dirty work. We end up paying for it. And then they come back and say, 'Thank you for your service. We'll see you in 4 years.'"
I didn't see that quote, but one more thing. The lady, Joyce was her name, the campaign staffer, who was facing 9 criminal charges. She claimed she was expected to get paid $20 an hour for this work, but she never did get paid. And here's the quote. Joyce said she stopped working for Martinez because she was not getting paid and eventually started getting threats. So you can see that the thugs in the mayor's office, when you say, "Hey, I'm not getting paid," say, "You keep doing it or we're going to," well, who knows what the threat was. And that's the story. It's a little late breaking. It's not forward-looking news like you're working on. But sometimes you need backward-looking news to, finish these stories that start but never do finish.
You got it. Thank you.
I got
you got it. City Hall Adam actually sent me the article. It said, arrested Councilman Castillo. He says, "I'm innocent. I'm following the orders of the Democrat Party," he said. "I'm following the orders of the Democrat Party. That's what they tell us to do to get out the vote. Then we get criminalized. Our job is to get out the vote. We're loyal, always the foot soldier, and get whacked with. Then everyone benefits. Ganem, Lamont, Blumenthal, Murphy, Himes. Then it's thank you. We'll see you in 4 years." That's what Castillo said. And it's in, again, none of the other publications, as Dave just mentioned, ever said anything about it. You had to find this in a publication called Only in Bridgeport. They were the only people who reported it. That's why I couldn't find it. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate you, sir. Let's go to Bob in Torrington. How you doing, Bob?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, sir?
I'll tell you what. You got an awful lot on your plate this week.
That's right.
one thing I want to say is there is a song out there that I just looked at the lyrics, and it's called Eve of Destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's by Barry Maguire.
Okay.
And it came out in 1965. And I just read the lyrics of it, and it's absolutely scary to see how those lyrics back in 1965 actually apply to today.
Can you give me a second here? Let me see if we can find them. Eve of Destruction, you said?
It's called Eve of Destruction by Barry Maguire.
Got it.
And it
It's
came
in
out
front
in
of me.
1965.
Hold on. Let me see if we can get. Wow. Okay. I think I've
And
known that guy.
You don't have to play the song, but if you read the lyrics, it is freaking scary.
I am. I'll look at it and then we'll reference it in the next break. I do have the lyrics in front of me, but the font's kind of small. I'll get it someplace bigger so I can get a look at it. I will definitely read it.
I've been listening to you a long time. I'll tell you what, bud, you are doing an incredible job. This whole controversy we've got going on right now with the teacher and everything like that, I'm very interested. I want to listen to it more. And the biggest thing I've got going on is it just seems to me that there is so much corruption going on around us, and we don't see it, we don't hear about it until it gets reported. But the bottom line is, dude, it's all around us.
Yeah.
And we don't even know it's around us.
I know. Again, I'm telling you.
Anybody that gets into a government position, and I don't know if it's a loss of integrity in our lives or whatever, but it seems to me anybody that gets into a government position feels that they've got, okay, now I can take a little here, I can take a little here, because everybody's doing it for so long that nobody's going to see this, nobody's going to see that.
Yeah,
it's like the kid down there at the fruit stand selling apples and pears and oranges. Or peaches. Well, I'm just going to eat this one peach. Nobody's going to see it.
Nobody's going to see it. And again, this is the thing. And what I'm seeing in this is once you see there's a pattern and it works, I'll give you a perfect example of this, Bob. You know this is going to happen. And I think that it may not be innate in you, but I think it's a human trait. Imagine every day you go into a supermarket and you grab a stick of gum and no one says anything. And you just go in every day and you grab a stick of gum and you figure, you know what? People allow me to do it. There are some people who will say, all right, you know what? That's wrong. It bothers me. I have a guilty conscience. I can't do that anymore. I did it one time. You know what? I'm going to go up there the next time I'm there. I'm going to pay for it. I'm just going to pay it up there and say, hey, what are you doing? It's like, you know what? I took a stick of gum and I shouldn't have, and it's really eating at me. Most people would call you a square and say, come on, man, you got away with it. Other people, if they can get away with it, human nature takes over. And once you know
I go by the grape section. Do I want to pick one of the grapes out of the bag I
exactly.
want and test it and say, okay, I like this? No, I can't. My conscience won't allow me to do that.
Exactly. But there are some people who just say, and I look at those people who say stuff like, remember during all of the riots and people were looting, and they had people from the Black Lives Matter group talking about that these lootings were a form of reparations. They were, again, normalizing.
I don't understand that mentality at all.
Yeah, again, but there was this thing that was just saying, and people who called up here and says, hey, Reese, what's the big deal? Everybody's corrupt. I'm like, that's the big deal, my friend. Is that everybody's
Dude, I'll
corrupt?
Tell you what, you let that level come down to that degree.
Exactly. It's
then
chaos.
All society is going to break open.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You can't let that come down to that degree.
That's right. Exactly.
Because now everybody's going to feel like, well, that guy did it. I can do it. Well, that guy did it. I'll tell you what. When I was in high school and three of us were out there, we got called drinking.
Yep.
I said, well, it wasn't mine. It was this guy. It wasn't mine. It was this guy. We just try to pass out the bottom line is y'all got caught, so you're all going to detention.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't try to pass a buck.
That's the whole thing. I wish that there would be some accountability, but you know what? When someone is not guarding the store, everyone's going to steal. And the people who are responsible for guarding the store, and that is the mainstream media in this state, if not the whole country, when they are allowing people to steal or they are working their hardest to allow or help them steal, that's when you know the game is rigged. So when people get
Yeah,
upset,
look at Walgreens and look at CVS.
exactly. It's a good point. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate you. Let's go to our good friend Fulton in Waterbury. How are you, sir? Welcome back.
What's happened today, buddy? I got a question for you.
You got it.
Who would you rather live next to in Bridgeport? The guy that Biden released that murdered the kid and the mom, the witnesses that just got out, or the predator that eats people? Who would you rather have as a neighbor?
I got to be honest because I see, you have to understand. It's my wife, man. I can't. But if I have to, I would probably, so that's so tough. I don't know.
Right? They're both monsters. Who's a bigger monster? The guy that kills a kid?
A kid.
Or the guy that eats the person he killed? Like, what the heck?
I know. You know what? That's, again, because both of these things are egregious.
There's Bridgeport with Gammon. What's going on down there?
Yeah, man. And again, this is, for anyone to pass this stuff off and to think that no one's going to be outraged, you can't help. Listen, with the pardoning of this guy who kills a 7-year-old and this guy eating Gonzalez, right, and supposed to get 6 years, you let those guys out. If you ever want to make a group of people feel helpless, those are two perfect.
Victims are helpless.
Exactly. That is the perfect example of a bunch of people who are felt helpless. And we're like, nobody is here for us. Ain't nobody coming for us. Nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's coming to protect us, because the people who swear that they are, they're letting people like this out and letting things like the things that are going on in the Hartford school system permeate and are saying nothing.
That's what I was going to talk about next. What's going on with Hartford? The police chief, that guy doesn't get hired. What's going on with the HR? They're doing these weird favors. And I'm sure, like it's your friend and all. Like you said, ain't no secret like that. You want to F around with my family? Okay. I just lost my job, my pension, everything.
Oh, you listen to me. I understand this. This is a woman, and I understand her hesitation. But again, I feel like there's the fact that we have been talking about this. In some ways, we are giving her a little bit of a battery on her back to stand up for herself, because in a lot of ways, she felt alone. When you get fired like that after 23 years, you think
brutal. No one's
right,
gonna help you.
Exactly.
It's like they're like England. If you get your job back, it's going to be 2 years from now. You're going to be bankrupt.
Exactly. So you
lose
think
your house already.
right?
That's how they do it.
The people you've been associated with and surrounded yourself with are the people who betrayed you. So you go out there in the real world and you don't have any real friends, because the only friends you have they've rejected you. They've shunned you.
She said, "This is my friend." It's not your friend. That lady is not your friend.
And exactly.
That person that got you fired, not your friend. She's not saying anything for you.
And that's why I told her on the phone. Let me tell you this. I'll tell you what I did say to her on the phone. I said to her privately, I said, listen, I don't want your story so I can blow my name up. I'm not trying to win accolades with your story. That's unfair and that's unreasonable and it's sick. I cannot use your story to ingratiate myself and make myself some big hero. I don't want to be that guy. I said, I know what it's like to have somebody's life turned around and have people reject me. The people who I respected and loved, have them turn their backs on me. And I can't sit idly by and let that happen to you. It would hurt me. It would kill my conscience. We know this story's out there. Now that we know what it's about, it's our job to help her. And I don't care if it's just one person.
Yeah, it sounds like it's brutal for her. Like
it
her
is.
Voice, you could hear her voice. It's something horrible. It's whatever it is. Like, and I'll tell you what, there's a special place in hell for anybody that hurts kids.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Fulton.
Something else. What's with one more thing? What's with the people with the credit cards in the universities in Connecticut? They can do whatever they want.
Oh, I know. I've got that tomorrow. I promise. I totally forgot about that today.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Let's take a break. We got to get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center and, of course, your weather. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Heading into Hartford, 84 eastbound delays. About a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue up to 48 Capitol Avenue. Westbound 84 slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge. East Hartford up to 47 Sigourney. Hartford delays 91 southbound, 33 to 32. Again, 27 down to 28. If you're heading northbound 91, good ride Cromwell up into Windsor. 291 through 84 okay east of the river. 2 westbound's a little slow as you merge with 84 west and East Hartford. 9 northbound, some slow traffic as you approach the Aragoni Bridge of Middletown. 84 eastbound slowing, approaching 18 to the Mixmaster. Westbound side of 84 slows 26 to 25 in Waterbury. Again, 84 westbound tight at the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound losing some speed heading down toward the 691 interchange in Cheshire. Southbound Parkway a little slow getting by 60 in Hamden. 95 South New Haven slows 46 to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Temperatures expected to run well above the historical average high here for this time of the year over the next couple of days. So another significant cool down is coming our direction as we head into the second half this weekend and into early next week. Out the door here for this afternoon, our latest storm will gradually push to the east. Look for any lingering shower coming to an end by this evening. Breezy with a high 51. Then breezy into tonight, partly cloudy, low 38. Blustery for tomorrow. Sunshine will mix in with some clouds. Cooler overall, though still above average for this time of the year with a high 44. Cloudy and breezy for tomorrow night. Bit of rain and snow at times with little to no accumulation, low 28 degrees. Saturday, cloudy, breezy, mild, perhaps a passing shower for the afternoon, high 52. But temperatures drop after that as a powerful cold front sweeps across the area. Watch out for a rapid freeze up into Saturday night with a low of 20 degrees. Much colder for Sunday despite the sunshine. It will be blustery, a high of just 30. Plenty of sunshine, still cold for Monday with a high of just 33 degrees. This is meteorologist Matt Benz in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. President Trump says talks to end Russia's invasion of Ukraine are very well advanced, in his words, and he says he's confident that Russian President Putin won't press the restart the war if a truce can be hammered out. Trump made the comments at a White House meeting today with his British counterpart, Keir Starmer. Still trying to figure out what made people sick at Thompson Middle School today. About a dozen fell ill this morning, including 5 students. Officials say it was not carbon monoxide. The 5 kids who got sick have been released from the hospital, and normal operations did resume at the school. There are still more questions than answers as to the death of Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman and his pianist wife, Betsy Arakawa. Their bodies were found in the couple's home in Santa Fe, New Mexico, along with their dog. Authorities say there were no signs of a CO leak in the home and no obvious signs of trauma on the bodies. State police are charging a woman in a check washing fraud investigation. They say 28-year-old Sanaya Thompson is charged. They say the Waterbury resident allegedly washed a check issued by the Essex Yacht Club to a local vendor, then made it out for a higher amount. Troopers say Thompson allegedly cashed that check at a bank in Old Lyme. She faces larceny and forgery charges. And West Hartford animal control officers are looking for the owner of a large iguana. The animal was found in the area of Westmoreland Drive by a resident. They're not native to New England, and they are asking the owner or anyone who has information to contact Animal Control in West Hartford. We have a picture of the reptile on our website at WTIC.com. Dow down 193 points on Wall Street today. NASDAQ gave back 530 points. S&P was down 94. UConn women's basketball tonight. Number 5 Huskies take on the 22nd ranked Creighton. And in the NHL, the Bruins host the Islanders. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
If your air conditioner and furnace are over 10 years old, they've pretty much gone to the dogs. But at Ayala Home Services, we can fetch you a free furnace with our 2-for deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a new air conditioning system, you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no-obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P10277688, D10401465, E11856443, S330869, HIC 628926, SM30044646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
Tune in to How to Retire with Fuchs Financial.
The main thing for the majority of the listeners out there who are approaching retirement is I don't want to be surprised.
Helping you build, preserve, and manage your wealth.
You've got Roth IRAs, you have individual accounts. And finding the right taxable strategy, that's going to be huge for you.
Tune in to How to Retire with Ben Fuchs, Sundays at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Seems everything gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit ConsumerCellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit. Credit for deciding while stuck in traffic to get a bachelor's degree. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. Students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 bachelors, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. Flexible online and hybrid classes start March 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Hi, this is Robert H. Steele, one of the sons of WTIC's Bob Steele, wishing WTIC a very happy anniversary.
That was nice. It's Reese on the radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Don't forget, folks, if you want to win a cruise for 4 people on the Disney Destiny, you have to go online, download the Odyssey app, download it, listen to WTIC at least an hour a day every day in order for you to register. And then you'll get a chance to win a chance to be on a Disney Destiny cruise with 3 of your friends. And don't forget, the last caller of the day wins a dozen bagels a month for 6 months. Courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Manchester, and Vernon. Gene Hackman, just to talk about him, I just heard at the top of the hour, John Silver said that there was no CO, no carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide traces in the home. I'm really, really concerned that this story is going to go sideways. They say it's no criminal investigation, but then again, they haven't. I'm really, really sad. We hadn't seen him in a while, and I just saw a picture of him not too long ago, and he seemed to be very frail. I forget how old he was. And I hope, to be honest with you, I hope that I get to remember him as I always remember him from the movies. Somebody mentioned in the chat room that his best role was in Unforgiven. I can't take that away from you at all. I do have to admit, Unforgiven, he deserved the Oscar for that role. Gene Hackman was a bad, mean guy in that he was just one of those bad guys that you don't root for. He was well chosen by Clint Eastwood for that role. Clint Eastwood, that was an amazing movie. Still think it's an amazing movie. And Gene Hackman was absolutely astonishing in that. But I got to be honest with you, Crimson Tide is just one of those movies. He and Denzel Washington were magic in that movie, just back and forth. And with all of the names from James Gandolfini, Viggo Mortensen, is that how you say his name? I think so. There were so many other names, people that you don't, like, now when you watch the movie, it's like, holy crap, that's that guy. There were so many people in that movie. Just some of the bit actors in there went on to be huge stars or actors that you've seen in other movies. They were, very, very small players that you would have, you watched the movie then and you said, holy crap, look who that is. There's just so many people in that movie, and it was just so well done. And Gene Hackman is a powerhouse in that movie. Even the lame movies that he was in always blew my mind, because one of the favorite movies that I go back to watch is, I just mentioned it not too long ago, is The Replacements. And I love that movie, and Gene Hackman is pretty funny in that movie. He was in Enemy of the State with Will Smith, a movie I cannot stand. And it's only worth watching for Gene Hackman in that role. I'll tell you my problems with that movie. What other movie? What are you talking about?
That movie was good, man.
No, that movie was horrible. It's directed by one of the worst directors in history, Tony Scott. And I'll get into that another time, because it's just going to turn into a fight. People get mad at me when I mention it. Tony Scott, Ridley Scott's brother, who took his own life by jumping off a bridge, he destroys every movie he's in. He's only done one movie that I liked, and that's called True Romance. It's the only movie Tony Scott ever did. And the only reason why that movie is great is because it was written by Quentin Tarantino. It's the only reason why that movie's good. Inexplicable rain scenes. That's all I'm going to say. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. I wish I could discuss this movie with him, but apparently this guy's never been to a movie theater.
I haven't. me see. I went to see Jaws in 1975.
75.
Towering Inferno.
Towering Inferno. First of all, how did you see it in the theaters? That's a TV movie.
No, I mean, I don't know. This one.
Did you watch it on television?
No, it was in the theater.
You watched it in the theater. You know that was a TV movie.
Was it really?
Yeah. I mean, it's not to say that you couldn't have seen it in the theaters, but I'm almost positive the Towering Inferno was a TV movie. I'm almost certain.
I remember. Who the heck was in that movie?
Paul Newman.
Paul Newman was in it.
Uh-huh.
Steve McQueen was in it.
That's who it was. Not Paul Newman. Steve McQueen. I always get them confused. They both have white hair.
1974. Steve McQueen. Faye Dunaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to many movies in the last 50
The fact that you went to Towering Inferno in the 70s. Now I know what my wife feels like when I mention movies. My wife goes, she's 9 years younger than me, and I'll mention like Caddyshack. And I mentioned it was in 78. She goes, do you know how old I was? I go, oh, crap.
Let me think what else. Purple Rain.
You saw Purple Rain? That was 1980.
Mad Max Thunderdome. I went to that.
Goodness gracious. What were you, 20?
84. Purple Rain, I was 20. Yeah, I was 20 when Purple Rain came out.
Yeah,
So
goodness.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
It's been
no
a while.
kidding.
I haven't been to too many movies.
That movie's only celebrating its 40th anniversary.
Yeah, right. If you're heading into Hartford right now, Reese, westbound 84 tied up in East Hartford, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue, 84 eastbound delays. Mile before 46 is an avenue into the tunnel, 91 southbound delays, 33 to 32, again down by exit 28. If you're traveling northbound on the Parkway, you have an accident in the right lane, 15 northbound right at the end of the Parkway by 68. N&E delays are back to Miller Avenue behind that. 291, 384, okay, 2 westbound slowing as you merge to the 84 west. Quiet, Middletown, 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing by 18, 84 westbound, some slow traffic, 25A to 25 in Waterbury, and again by the Mixmaster. In New Haven, southbound 95 delays 46 to 43. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
And the rain wrapping up, heading to our east, but the clouds remain, and we'll see these clouds into this evening before breaking to turn out partly cloudy for tonight. It will be breezy with a low of 38. Tomorrow, a blustery day. Sunshine will mix in with some clouds. High of 44 tomorrow night. Perhaps a bit of snow or rain at times. Little to no accumulation expected with a low of 28. Temperatures briefly rebounding for Saturday. Cloudy and breezy with a passing shower for the afternoon at the high of 52. Followed by a much colder air mass moving into the area Sunday, where highs will be stuck in the 30s. Right now, it's 46 degrees in Farmington, 45 in West Hartford, and 45 in Hartford. This is Matt Benz in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, Eric Hogarth, Money Wisdom. Let's talk about taxes. And what about coming in for a visit and getting some feedback on what your whole financial life is looking like or not looking like? Tune in this Saturday at 8:30 right here on TIC News Talk 1080 and get some help.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Concerned about your gums? Columbia Dental's expert periodontists specialize in treating all gum conditions, helping you achieve a healthy, confident smile. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit ColumbiaDental.com.
Paid for by GLI LLC.
This is an important message for anyone who's 65 or older on Medicaid and needs home care. Did you know that you can get quality personal care right in your own home at no cost to you? You heard that right. If you or a loved one are 65 or older and on Medicaid, you can now get quality personal care and help in your own home for things like transportation, meal prep, grocery shopping, and companionship at no cost to you through a Medicaid-funded home care program. Just call 800-293-7147 right now. Call 800-293-7147 and SilverCare will help you get the home care you need today. And if you're on Medicaid, there's no cost for you. Don't wait. Call 800-293-7147 and find out instantly if you qualify for quality personal home care at no cost to you. If you or a loved one are 65 or older and on Medicaid, call 800-293-7147 right now. This service is absolutely free to you. Don't wait. Call 800-293-7147. That's 800-293-7147. 800-293-7147.
If you're
and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they
I had 'em
qualify.
both right.
Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the... They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You
know who it is.
It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're almost out of here. We'll get to the last but not least caller of the day, so get on the phones at 860-522-WTIC. I need to correct something. Mark is 100% right. It was a film. The Towering Inferno was in 1974. That's why I would know when I saw it. It was on television years later. And I knew it was a 70s. I've always thought it was a 70s disaster television movie, but it was in the theaters. It even won Oscars. And I was right. Steve McQueen is in it, but so is Paul Newman. I knew that movie just resonates with me for some reason because I think it was my first introduction to disaster films. Because I'm a big fan. I don't like dystopians. I like disaster films. I have seen Armageddon at least 100 times. I will watch that movie over and over again. Not so much Deep Impact. That's kind of boring to me. I like disaster films like The Day After Tomorrow. That one's a good one. Just any of that disaster stuff, like the world's coming to an end. I'm all in. Like something is flying to aliens, like, Independence Day. Oh, aliens blowing up stuff. I love it. It's like, the end of the world. I like that kind of stuff. I just do. Why? It's weird. It's a weird thing. Anyway, to the phones we go before we wrap this puppy up. Let us start with Adam, who's in East Hartford. How are you doing, sir?
I'm glad you mentioned Gene Hackman. The one thing that but I had a phone call with Social Security earlier. But the one thing that Tom Shattuck, he accidentally hung up the phone early. He said that somebody won by a narrow margin in an election, or if it had been a narrow margin, something would have been a little bit different. And then, ironically, that was the one Gene Hackman movie that I loved. I know he was kind of brutal in The Unforgiven when he beat up on the British bounty hunter. But here's the thing. In Narrow Margin, he was a good guy.
That's right.
He was trying to keep Ann Archer alive, and he had to do violence against mobsters, even though he had no gun on him,
Yeah, and that's the thing about that movie was so riveting. It's a cat and mouse game on a train, and the things that he has to do, that's what made that movie so edge of your seat thrilling, because in the way in which he had to hide Ann Archer in the movie, like, getting into certain compartments and getting around it, because you only got one way to go. It's the back or the front. And he would just manage to get her through it. And it was just harrowing. It was just one of the most amazing movies I've ever seen. I still think it's one of the greatest he's in.
Remember when he told the woman, the Canadian woman, stay with this, with the security guy in the train.
Yeah.
And she shot him to death or stabbed him.
Yeah, exactly. Because he didn't know who was his enemy.
Right. Then her head hit the brick wall on the train ride. But either way, keep up the good work, and we'll keep listening to the show, all right?
You got it. Thank you, Adam. Much appreciated, sir. Let's go to Jeff in Marlboro. I should have actually gone to him earlier. Sorry, folks. Thank you for holding, Jeff.
Yeah, hey, thanks for picking up, man.
No problem.
So I got good news for Governor Lamont.
Tell me.
Yeah, we don't have to be the abortion state anymore.
I heard. Tell us why.
Because even if that pesky little fella's been born already, you can bring him on. You can bring him on here and give him to our local friendly cannibal, and
he'll take care of it for you. This is, I don't know if you remember earlier this week, I did the stupidest thing that I read today, and Michael Moore was saying that we shouldn't kick out all of the illegals because we could be kicking out a kid who might keep the asteroid from hitting us in 2042 or 2032, or he might be the kid in 1946 or 2046 that cures cancer. And I'm going, we've been making that argument over here on the pro-life front for years. Where you been? Where have you been?
You might be aborting the kid that saves us from that.
Yes,
asteroid,
exactly. Yeah. How about this, Michael Moore? How about we don't abort the kid who possibly creates the Ozempic that doesn't take your life? How about that? That would be wise.
I'm just your local friendly cannibal advisor. That's all.
Exactly. You know what? We may need to have that alert added to the amber, silver, and what's the other one? Is it amber alert and silver alert? Right? Is that the two alerts that we have?
There's another one I forget, but
cannibal alert. Maybe we should just call it what it is: red alert.
Yeah, red alert. There you go.
Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. Let's go to Eugene in Hartford. How we doing, sir?
I am doing great. Thanks for taking the call.
My pleasure.
I'd like to get right to the point. On July 28th, 1989, in Middletown, Connecticut, a 9-year-old girl was killed by a patient that was put out on the pass from the same hospital, and he killed the girl. There was
He was let out. What was his name? Peterson. We had a caller actually a little while ago. I don't know if you just joined us, but we had a caller a little while ago who said that it was originally he had stabbed someone in the late 60s, early 70s, and then had been locked up in a mental institution until about 1989, and then they gave him some money, sent him out into the world. I didn't get to ask the gentleman that because we were coming up on a break.
Sorry.
But did they just really?
The killing happened July 28th, 1989.
Right.
I just got on the police department.
But you just got on the police department when that happened.
Yeah, and it wasn't in Middletown. It was a couple towns farther north.
Okay. And now
So
my question to you is,
Go ahead.
is when they released him, and what was his name, Peterson or something?
You can look it up.
I will.
It's still on the internet under UPI.
Okay.
And just type 9-year-old girl stabbed in Middletown.
Yeah. So
by mental patient.
When they released this patient, did they release him into the custody of anyone, or did they just let him out on the street?
No, he was not. Nope. He drifted off, went to the fair that was on Main Street. That was the street was blocked off. Randomly saw the girl with his mother. Took the girl in front of hundreds of people.
Oh.
Just started stabbing her to death because they want to give him extra meds.
Wow.
And the family was a big advocate, and it was a decision made at the state level in regards to releasing people of this nature. It was a horrific crime. It's unbelievable.
Just a description of it in and of itself, and it happening in front of people, and it happened so fast that no one is even there to be able to stop it. And again, it's what is the I would say the parallel factors in this is about a person who has to take psychotic drugs in order to maintain a degree of normalcy. And they are thinking about releasing that person into the public. And I get in my head, as I'm sure that you're thinking, Eugene, what good is that doing to the patient if not the general public? This benefits no one. You know, they put him in for 60 years. He doesn't last 13, and that's barely a fifth of the time.
My wife and I have this discussion. We've been having it for the past 2 days. We just can't believe that this stuff is actually going on. The other thing that's annoying me is the state police officer, the person got hit by the hit-and-run driver. Oh, he got 8 years. That's ridiculous. And they're not going to charge him with the other crimes, so driving without a license.
Yeah.
And there was 3 other penalties.
And again, this is
There's
and what
something
does
wrong.
and this what this is the leniency of the prosecutor, right? because, they're so concerned about their reputation because, again, this is restorative justice. Nobody wants to be hamstrung with the ideas like, you put him in jail forever for a crime as simple as, you put the crime is, the penalty has got to fit the crime in this case. This guy was Justin Elliker a couple of months ago on this show talking about a young man who's in a car using a vehicle to threaten police officers to the point where they had to shoot him to stop him from trying to run them down. And this son of a gun wants to name a street after the guy.
Yeah. Well, again, just have your listeners look that article up. July 28, 1989, 9-year-old girl murdered in Middletown at a festival.
Eugene, do you mind and I know you didn't call for that, but do you mind if I make you my last but not least caller of the day and get you a dozen bagels a month for 6 months from between rounds?
That would be, I love that. I love bagels.
Good, you're a man of my heart.
Say donuts. I'm glad you didn't say donuts.
Send your wife our best, and we'll put you on hold. Eugene will be our last but not least caller of the day, who'll win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds. The Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. Let me give you an update for those of you who have been hanging out for most of the show, and I always appreciate you being here, and thank you for being such supporters of this program. Let's get to some breaking news on the story that we've been covering today. First, I want to say thank you to Nancy for reaching out to me. Nancy, I'm not going to give her information on the air because she didn't ask me to, but she does know Janet Serrano, and she knows her well, and she respects and loves Janet, and I'm going to see if the two of them can get together. So thank you, Nancy, for reaching out to me. I'm going to make sure that I forward your information to Janet. And Janet texted me about an hour ago. She was leaving her home because I think it's family dinner or something along that, about that nature. She did inform me that March 18th, she will be attending that school meeting in Hartford. And if I may, if you'll indulge me before we get out of here, I will read the quote that I asked, the question that I asked and her response. And forgive me here, I'm over here, goodness. She says to me, not that this is important, I just want to share the exchange. So please don't, I apologize. I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm just saying. I wanted to thank you for your love on my case. I greatly appreciate you. I am sorry that I can't share anything with you, but I hope you understand. I said, no problem. You shared enough. Are you going to come forward at the next meeting in March? Her response, yes. So on March 18th, we'll see what happens. The school board, I'm sure one of you, if not all of you, have heard today's show and yesterday's show. Do what you can. Shut it down. Maybe not hold it. Keep it private. Whatever you got to do, do it. But she'll be there. Bar her from it. I don't know. Do what you got to do. We'll see. We'll be watching. Everybody is paying attention to this story. Whether they report on it or not, all of us will be watching. So March 18th, soon come, as they say in the reggae world, soon come. And when it does, we'll be there to watch it all unfold. But you have an opportunity between now and then. What do you have, like 19 days, 20 days? Get ahead of it. Maybe make sure that some people pay the price for it. Mayor, you're on deck. But don't worry, people are reaching out to you anyway. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. Oh, what the heck is going on with my voice? Don't forget, tomorrow's the airing of grievances. All right? Don't forget about that.
Airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people.
You don't believe we're on the eve of destruction.
I was reading the lyrics. It was a good song.
Yeah. Way ahead of his time.
You got it.
Way
Mark
ahead of his
Christopher
time.
is in the BPS Traffic Center, and a DJ to boot. He shows his DJ prowess every day on this show. God bless him. Oh, look at him. Don't even get me started, man. You too.
Reese, if you're heading into Hartford right now, 84 eastbound, you've got delays. 44
All right, good sir.
All right, man.
Westbound
We'll
84
see you
tied up,
tomorrow.
approaching the
I'll see you next week.
Oh, that's right. You're out of here.
Avenue. Southbound 91's a little slow, 33 down to 32 A and B.
All right, I'll see you on Monday.
91's a good shape, Cromwell through downtown.
Sounds good.
All right,
you
man.
enjoy the rest of your weekend, too.
Thank you, man. You too.
Westbound.
All right, man.
Exit 4 to the 84 West Merge. Quiet Middletown. 84 eastbound in Waterbury slowing 17 to 18. Westbound 84 is a little tight as you move up on the Mixmaster. Southbound Parkway a little slow approaching the West Rock Tunnel. 95 South New Haven slows 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly cloudy and breezy for tonight, the low 38. Windy tomorrow with sunshine mixed with clouds, a high of 44.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you, Michael A. Always, sir. You guys be good to each other. If there are any other updates, I will let you know. If you have a way to contact me privately, how do I put this? If you have a way to contact me privately, contact me. I can't say it on air, but I can share privately. And I'll let you know. So y'all be good. All right? We'll see y'all, what, 22 hours from now? All right. What was that? Old enough to kill, but not for voting. That's